So depressing yesterday. I went into Tom's office to argue with him. Not even argue, just to tell him how I resigned, and no one takes my resignation seriously.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I said, Tom, I need out of this job. I want to be gone.
And he just said no.
No, he just doesn't answer. And I yell at him, and I go, this is my frustration. But I'm in there. He took over Mel's old office, and that's even more depressing.
It's a big, beautiful office.
It's just way bigger than he deserves. With all kinds of old radios. And I'm going to smash every old radio in there. Next time I go in there and get upset, I'm going to throw all the radios out the window.
All right. Come in. We'll come in and help you out.
You're hearing glass smashing. You think Tom would have an old robot collection? Oh, I go back there, I go nuts. He's got the big desk and the great view and the plants and the...
It's almost as depressing as the Bill Hicks book.
Yeah. It's just so depressing seeing him in Mel's office with the big door to the conference room. And you know no great thoughts are going in there.
He's got an inner office, and then there's the outer office with the assistant.
Yeah, and you know that office has been for somebody who has great thoughts. I mean, you know that great things. Like Mel used to sit back there, and you'd find that he just acquired 5 radio stations. Or
one day he came out of there, he had bought CBS. Nobody thought it was possible.
Now Tom comes out of there and goes, what? I mean, nothing happens. Tom comes out.
Going to Italy.
Here, let me show you a map of Chiasano.
Tell Benji not to pleasure himself.
I don't think you should run the promo with Mark McGrath.
He's going to for this. We had a meeting in his office yesterday.
Yeah.
The in and out box were completely empty.
Oh, that's great.
He's got the in and out box on his desk.
And then neither one of them is working.
There's nothing in there.
There's nothing in, and there's nothing going out.
What is in my inbox today? That's all right. They've detoured all your in stuff to Frank Flores' desk.
There you go.
Guy with a brain.
Here are my pictures from Montana.
That's in his outbox.
Big sky.
I tried to stuff Tom in his own outbox yesterday. So they take him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Put me in the outbox.
Yeah, instead of throwing the radios, just stuff him in the outbox.
Go in there for a meeting. It is depressing. There's nothing in the in or outbox. Nothing going in, nothing going out.
I am very efficient.
I took care of my papers early this morning.
Nothing goes in, so nothing can go out.
That's great. In and out box.
I'll go see if the toilets are over in the clean area.
I think I'll off the window.
I'll march down the stairs backwards.
Yeah, during the blackout here, he walked down the stairs backwards.
2 at a time.
2 at a time.
Something different.
Something different.
Next trip, I will hop on 1 foot.
That's what he told me, something different.
Yeah, he had been up and down many times and decided to do it backwards just so it'd be different this time.
Now I'll wear a dress.
Ronnie's having his birthday party tomorrow night at Scores.
Yeah.
And can't believe Fred's not going.
Why?
I can't believe his reason. Because the pool cover has to be put on.
Well,
I mean, it's everyone's walking around here going, how about Fred's explanation? The pool cover.
I'll tell you one thing. You people have a lot of, time to do nothing, if that's what you're worried about.
John, now, come on.
No, Fred, you know what's funny about it?
See, John's just trying to get out of his marriage,
No.
so he'll look
Fred,
for any excuse to go to school.
Whoa.
You said you had to bring your grill in.
You know what?
I work
for a Scores party.
The past couple weekends. I'm working next weekend. I have 1 weekend to do what I have
So
to
hire
do.
a guy to bring the grill in.
I got to do it myself.
A grill in.
It's not that big a deal to me. Why is it such a big deal to you or John?
Well, we're all getting together, all the guys. It's going to be fun.
So what? We'll get together next time. There's always another Scores party.
I don't
not like
understand
Scores
it
is going
because
away.
you guys
You
don't
can't
seem
wait?
to see each other when you're there anyway.
Yeah,
Nobody's looking at anybody.
Like
Who's
I'm
talking
going
to anybody?
I'm
They're
going
getting
early.
lap
I'm having dinner. I'm going to be drinking.
No, I hang out with Fred at the Scores.
I'm making it a whole boys' night.
I don't hang out with you, John. I'm getting lap dances.
No, when we hang by the bar and chat.
For 2 seconds. I talk to you every day. There's always more Scores.
You want to know something? I'll admit, I see Fred at Scores. I get as far away from him as possible.
You head in the opposite direction.
Because I don't want to waste 20 minutes listening to Fred drone on. But I'll tell you what. I just can't believe Fred wants to miss it. Scores? Really? How do you miss Scores to take in your grill?
I'm such a bore.
No, it's fine. I just can't believe it.
I don't think it's that exciting for Fred to go to Scores.
Why?
I don't think it's a big deal.
Chicks, they're naked.
Is it because Fred had a daughter, do you think?
Something's going on. Because you love Scores.
I love Scores.
No, I think Fred enjoys himself at Scores.
It's no big deal. It's not a big a deal to me as it seems to be to other people around here, mainly John. Why are you laughing, John?
Because I don't know why you're picking on me about
No, because that happens to be true.
Well, hold on a second.
That happens to be you. You're the guy on this show who's trying to figure out how he can cheat on his wife legally.
The
only guy,
Fred.
The only guy.
Hold on. Fred, you wouldn't like to have with another woman ever in your life?
Would I?
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting around.
No.
I'm not sitting around. I'm not sitting around.
Would you want
about?
to? Would you want to?
No.
You never would ever want to have anybody else.
I'm a married guy.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm a married guy.
Yeah, I'm a married guy. I love my wife, but I mean, if she said to me...
You don't love her that much.
Yes, I do, but if she said, hey,
you don't love her
John,
much
it's okay.
You don't love her enough to buy her a coat.
If she said to me, it's okay to go have somebody...
posters and if she said to me, it's okay to go have somebody, I mean, I don't think...
Rocky posters.
John, you're losing this argument.
No, I'm
digging
not.
a hole deeper.
You're traveling 4 hours to move your grill inside. I ain't losing no argument.
There's other things. There's other things.
Your pool guy's going to lay the pool cover on the front lawn.
I have a pump that's sitting outside.
You're taking the jitney to move your grill inside.
I don't know. You know, John, it's not such a big deal to me as it is to you. What can I say?
Come on.
I'm not as desperate as you are, I guess.
And plus, why does the girl got to be inside?
I'm not as desperate as you, John.
Why are you bringing the grill in? That's
what's so important about the grill?
Because it's going to be winter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things I got to do. I got to make sure that everything's in where it should be. I got to take care of a car. I got to put my wife's car in storage.
Put the cover on the grill. Leave it outside. What kind of grill? How much did you spend on that grill?
Probably about $400.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the Rolls Royce. It's not the Rolls Royce grill you have, but it's a nice grill.
But I'm just saying. So put a cover on it. Take it in.
Whatever.
Go to Scores and have yourself a good time.
It's like not a big deal to me.
Wow. That's weird.
I don't know why that's weird.
Scores is a big deal to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what. I'm the only one who likes to go to Scores. But everybody likes to go to Scores.
Yeah, but you seem to take a very strong interest in it, John.
What?
You're the only guy on the show I know that comes in here and is trying to figure out ways how he can get his wife into a threesome.
Wait a second, I'm the only guy?
You're the only guy.
Yeah, like Gary wouldn't want that, Artie wouldn't want that.
I don't have a wife. I've never heard Artie. I've never heard Gary.
Get the hell!
I've never
It's
ever
every guy's dream to want that. Want that to happen.
To the degree that you go.
Well, so then you must be a then, because that's
not to the degree that you go.
There's not a guy alive.
Sex isn't that important to Fred, though. I'll tell you that. I know that.
I'm not obsessed with it like you are.
Howard, am I weird to think that's a turn on?
Well, you shouldn't be married, no.
No, you shouldn't be.
You really shouldn't. I mean, you're definitely frustrated.
The way he goes on and on and on and on.
No, I'm honest. I love my wife, but I would love for her and me
there's a problem.
to bang
there's
on the
a problem there,
I mean, that would be a beautiful thing.
John, there's a problem. You have a problem.
I have a problem because I find the thought of a threesome exciting.
You have a problem saying the thought of a threesome.
All right, I got to move on to the news now. Nobody cares about this. I guess
it's more exciting to travel 4 hours on the jitney to put your grill inside the garage. There's something real exciting. Every guy can relate to that.
Well, at least
take a 4.5-hour bus ride out
John, at least my wife has a coat. At least I'm happily married.
Hey, listen, I'm happily married.
Yeah. For how long?
Please, Fred.
For how long, John?
For a lot long.
For how long, John?
You know what? I'm not even going to get into this. Where he's questioning who's married.
I'm just saying, you're questioning me, so I'm questioning you.
Okay.
He's not the one who's going to Scores.
He's been to Scores, Robin. In fact,
he seems to be.
He only one who got so drunk at Scores, he had to go to the emergency room.
That's right.
So please.
That's right. I am.
This guy's got stitches on his chin from the fun he had at Scores.
There you
go. I don't have that. I've never had that much fun at Scores.
Fred did almost die at Scores.
So there you go.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I went back.
He's got you there.
But I went back.
What?
I went back.
I got to move along.
Please.
All right.
For the record, I plan on almost dying at Scores this weekend.
Have as many lap dances as you can, and think about everybody else.
Fred, it's just that you're a gentleman, and this is a gentleman's club, and that's all I was saying.
I think I might be the only gentleman.
Have fun with the pool cover.
I will. Have trouble wrestling wrestling with your marital vows.
Is that what your problem is? If you go there, you might have trouble with your marital vows?
Hey, Howard, was it me or Fred who had a huge argument at the Rainbow Room with his wife that he started like throwing drinks around?
It was Fred.
So who's talking about happy marriages here?
I admit that I had an argument, but you don't even know.
An argument? You had almost a brawl.
Yeah, but you're right. He had an argument because
you don't know what the argument was about.
He loved his wife so much he didn't want her stripping at a show.
That could be a reason.
He didn't want her stripping.
I loved her enough to fight for her, John. Even with her.
Yeah.
He fought
in front of 2,000 people at the Rainbow Room.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't start
just because everything fell off the table.
It didn't start out that way. But, John, just keep wrestling with yourself. What can I say?
And you wrestle with the grill tomorrow.
I will.
Happily.
All right. Okay. Everyone calm down.
Hope you get visitation for your kids,
Why won't you have a good time if Fred's not there?
We just couldn't believe that Fred was passing up a Scores party.
Yeah, don't make it about... And by the way, I wasn't the only one who was laughing of the excuse of why he wasn't.
No, everyone was laughing.
Well, I mean, something? Here's a news bulletin. I don't care.
Yeah.
You sound like you care.
Yeah, I know. You can tell you don't care.
No, I don't. The only thing I don't care about is John.
I'll miss you, friend.
He'll be looking for you.
No, I always like to see Fred at the parties.
So you can avoid
Let's not
him.
tell a lie here, will you?
I do. I like seeing you there. I don't talk to you, but I like to see you. You're like wallpaper. I feel weird if it's not on the wall.
There you go.
I don't talk to anybody when I go to Scores. I concentrate on the women and the drinking.
Talk to John.
No.
Oh, my. It's that laugh.
He's sick.
It sounds like
It's a sick pup.
It sounds like Fred, like Robin, is cutting John up.
No, it is funny that Fred's giving up Scores to go change his pool.
What can I say?
Right.
It's the only weekend he can do it.
His excuse is that he's going to go change his pool. His pool cover. I said, get the guy to do it.
Hey, Fred, can I ask you one more question? Are you going to go out, to do...
Oh, this is going to be a smart question, right, John?
Yeah. Are you going to go out there at all for the rest of the year?
Maybe, John, but the thing is being
so
done...
why is it this weekend that it all must
May
be
I
done?
finish the statement before you give me the biting part two of the question? It's being done... Oh, I can't even... He repulses me.
Okay. Let's go to the news, Fred.
You want to know why I'm not going to Scores? Because idiots like him are going to be there.
Right. All right, let's go to Robin Quivers, who has the news.
Go borrow some money, John.
All right.
I can't see how you're friends with him. I really can't.
I don't either.
I love you, Fred.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
You know I do.
Yeah.
You know I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Stop.
You know I do.
Stop. What is this? This is going to be a different thing when you get off the air. It's going to be like Gary O's.
You know what's great about Fred Howard? He makes fun of me nonstop on the show. He does my impressions.
This is true.
So then, but then you say one thing about him. Like,
Yeah, but John, you're the same way. You don't talk to people for 2 days when they say something about you.
You're the biggest baby.
All
You're the
right.
biggest
All
baby.
right.
Can I jump in with something?
Yeah.
John's like, everybody's laughing at Fred. The reason why everyone's laughing at Fred is because John brings up every second during the commercial.
Yeah.
What?
You're the one who brings up during the commercial. Can you believe Fred's not going?
Oh, thanks for selling me out, Kat.
All right, let's go to...
Thanks, Kier.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. That
actually,
it was me. First of all, the truth is, it was me and somebody else
John
laughing about it.
John the
day.
Backstabber.
No.
Yeah, John the Backstabber.
I got to go to the news.
It was funny the other day. Me and somebody were laughing about it.
No, the only person who was laughing, John, was you.
No, that's not true.
The only thing they're doing is they're laughing at you.
That's not true. And no, that wasn't true.
Gary Shadow just ratted out John.
There you go.
Let's go to the news. People are crazy in this heat. My beautiful girlfriend Beth was attacked on the street yesterday. I was shocked. She was walking along the street, and a black guy, well-dressed black guy in like a matching one of those jogging outfits.
Yo.
Just walks up and grabs her. Like, just yanks on her arm and grabs her and twists her around.
Yo.
Nobody does anything because everyone's afraid, you know. And the guys get aggressive with pretty girls. I mean, it's something with the heat, so...
Yeah,
I mean, what kind of guy was this? It's not a working guy.
It's hard to know what he was. I mean, and then, like, you know, and then she kind of wrestled her way away from him, but
Jesus.
And then a guy we know just happened to be around there, and he, you know, stepped in, and it was a whole thing, but the guy got away. And
one of our crazy street dwellers.
Well, she said she was walking down the street. Forget about the black guy for a second. This is a white guy story. This guy, it goes in all colors. This guy stops his car in the middle of the street. This is a different guy. And says to her, I want you to take my card and call me because I want to be your boyfriend. And she said, well, no thank you. And he said, you take this, like with that kind of tone, crazy tone, you take this card.
God.
Because I am going to change your life.
Either now or later.
So she said, no, thank you. I'm going to change your life. I insist you take this card. So she takes the dude's business card. I got it right here. It's in plastic.
Well, let's
call the guy.
I want to call this guy.
Yeah, let's call him.
Well, you know, by government law, I have to tell him that I'm calling to be on the air. He might not want to come on the air. But I could have Gary dial it right now.
Well, yes, let's have Gary pre-clear him.
Yeah. I want to find out how he's going to change her life.
I'm the girl you stopped yesterday. I'm her representative. Now, just exactly what kind of proposition do you have?
Yeah, let's hear, because if it's better than the one I'm giving her. Here, here's the guy's cell phone, and this is his business phone, so... Look at it, it's in plastic.
What kind of card is in plastic?
Big, important card. Meanwhile...
So how do you want me to handle it? Like, how do you want me to...
Call him up and say, yeah, you know, it's the Howard Stern Show, and we'd like to put you on the air.
And you say why?
Howard wants to interview you to discuss your business card that you gave out on the street the other day.
Okay.
That's all. I mean, let's be honest. Let's keep it real. But the guy was so verbally abusive, stopped the car in the middle of the street, blocking traffic for what was about 5 or 10 minutes while he harassed the crap out of her.
Yeah.
He didn't get physical, but the black guy actually just grabbed her and started yanking on her arm like a hungry wolf.
Well, yeah, but that sounds like a real crazy man to me. That sounds like the guy who clubbed the woman in the head a few
Well, you know what? It's funny. Because in getting the guy's description, Beth said he was not like a homeless guy. This guy was well-dressed, and I'm telling you...
It could have been the day he got his clothing from wherever, Howard.
I don't know. You're just supposing. You don't know. Guys are nuts.
I know that normal people don't just grab you. Even this guy with the plastic card isn't normal.
I remember last summer, she was walking down the street. This was a black guy, came up to her and goes, "Could I take your picture?" She goes, "No, thank you." Kept walking along. Guy took her, whacked her in the side of the head, knocked her down on the street. And, of course, again, nobody does anything. But a well-dressed black guy in a suit.
It was Colin Powell.
Yeah, it probably was Colin Powell. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know who these guys are.
Again,
People are nuts.
Just because somebody's clothes are clean doesn't mean they're sane.
Well, he wasn't like one of those homeless guys you see with, you know, like...
Who aren't talking to anybody.
Well, you know what I mean, who is smelly and like all, you know, disheveled looking.
See, this is what hot chicks go through. This is what we don't see. We think it's all roses.
Yeah, they only have you coming after them.
I mean, I grabbed a chick once, but it was only because she would not take my card.
Here's Gary with the update on the card guy.
Voicemail. I got
voicemail.
But I'll try him back again.
Try him later.
Yeah.
What does this card identify me? I mean, what kind of business, you know?
Construction business.
Construction. Oh,
and design.
Life.
Construction and design.
I see.
And I thought it was particularly interesting. He was yelling and screaming at her to take this card. And she said, no, thank you. You know, I'm not. But finally she just took it. She gave it to me. She said, here, why don't you call this guy?
Yeah, better to keep these people moving along.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's right. Her life will be changed, but it'll be a nightmare.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And if she hadn't taken the card, it would have been, I'm changing your life now.
Yeah, I'm going to change your life.
Call me.
Imagine a line like that. I'm going to change your life.
I'm going to change your life. Do you like intensive care?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I think she's going to be the cornerstone of a building. He's in construction.
Well, the design word proves he might not be connected.
Who knows, but... it's all creepy. Everything's creepy. The heat brings out the worst in people.
Well, it's not the heat necessarily. If people could see you this well in the wintertime, they might do that.
Yeah.
But in the summer, you're exposed.
Yeah, I said, what were you wearing, a bikini or something? She goes, no, I'm wearing a jacket. And
yeah, but it's still not a winter coat with a hood.
Yeah, but she's one of those chicks where she's walking down the street, you know, you turn heads.
Okay, turn heads.
She doesn't need a bikini.
Turn heads fine, but I mean, guys attacking women, where's the class in any of this?
I mean, think about it, though. Those are two scary stories you just told.
The guys
That's in Manhattan.
Guys are like hungry wolves.
Yeah,
they surround in a pack and start to gnaw on your feet.
Well, yes, that's true. You don't read the paper every day about these gang rapes? It even happens in high schools with the wrestling team.
Yeah, but you got to show some restraint. I mean, I've followed chicks for blocks. I have. I mean, you know, especially...
No, nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't...
Well, he would attack, but they get away. He's too slow.
I've crossed where I shouldn't cross. I've run.
And by the way, when does something like that work anyway? Either like grabbing a chick or throwing a card of his, I'm going to change your life. Chicks know you're not changing their lives. You just want to get in their pants.
It only works if you look, you know, like Brad Pitt or something.
Yeah.
There are girls who take those lines. There must be. Guys wouldn't still be using them.
There's a lot of dumb people in the world.
Really, you're giving people too much credit.
But in all seriousness, Artie is one step away from a business card.
I'm thinking
in plastic.
About getting some made up.
Yeah.
He didn't know about that lamination technique.
Did you ever see a hot chick from behind and then you run to just see what her face looks like on the street? It's such a great, like, anticipation. You know?
And it's always bad.
It always disappoints. Always.
Dennis Leary, when they did that roast of him.
Yeah.
They had a funny, like, scene right in the beginning, like the intro to his roast. They have him sitting at a bar, and this hot chick is shaking her ass from behind. And she turns around, she's a real butterface, and he screams. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's one of our great disappointments in life.
Yeah.
The butterface phenomenon.
I saw that the other day. I was going into a store, and from behind, you'd have thought this woman was 15.
And she was 50.
She had the little itty-bitty bike shorts. And the little
blonde hair.
top and the blonde hair up in a little ponytail.
Yeah.
And she's walking along, and you get in front of her, and it's like, whoa, that woman's 50.
That's always weird, man. That's always weird, that whole shock. Because a lot of older women now can fool you. Because they go to the beauty parlor, or whatever they call it, the hair salon.
Yeah.
And they have young-looking hair, you know. And then you turn around.
But she even had the young-looking body.
Yeah, that ain't right.
The face was gone.
You know what the biggest...
False advertising.
The biggest deceiver is a tan, man. A blonde hair and a tan.
She was very tan. You're right.
You know what else is weird? Like, you're walking with your friends on the street, and you... Like, whenever I see a hot chick coming up, I go, hey, now. Because that's, hey, now.
Yeah.
So you're walking down the street, and the chick's about 2 blocks away, and you go, hey, now. Give them the guys an alert, and you get closer and closer. And all of a sudden... You realize your whole call on the thing was wrong.
How do you call back the hey now?
Yeah. You just go, oh, my God, I'm so sorry.
Got to call a mulligan.
No, I go, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I guess it was a false alarm. Because I don't want anyone to think I have bad taste.
Oh, my effing God.
Right. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Yeah, Matt, you're on the air.
Howard.
What do you say, bro?
I just have a question. Why every time if something happens, why does it have to be a black guy? A guy grabs your girlfriend. I mean, you know what happens when your listeners out in Daniel Carver country hear you say something?
No, I said it was a white guy, too.
No, I understand that.
Everything's racial, man.
It is?
Well, with him, yeah.
With me. I'm not saying you. With me.
It wasn't just a guy. He had a color.
I said the first guy was, the first guy with the business card was actually a white guy. The guy who grabbed her was a black guy. The guy who knocked her over was a black guy. So, it's not, and I guess I'm being descriptive because it's radio. I can't show you a picture of the guy.
Okay. No.
And everyone said to Beth, describe the guy. And she was talking to a black man who was helping her.
Right.
And said, well, he was a black man, tall, wearing a jogging suit, but not like a sloppy, disheveled homeless guy jogging suit, like an expensive-looking jogging suit.
The homeless may be cleaning themselves up as a disguise.
Maybe.
It might have been Walt Frazier.
So she said to the black guy who's a black guy, I mean, what are you supposed to say? You would leave that out? That's a major part of the description.
Yeah, if you tell the cops...
I don't think she would leave that out when she's describing it to the cops or whatever. But
yes, well, that's how I heard the description, so I'm giving you the description in case you see anybody running around like that. Keep your eyes open.
All right, I'll do that, Howard. She doesn't deserve that.
All right, thanks. Nobody deserves that.
To tell you the truth of those two stories, I'd be more afraid of the white guy.
By the way, this is a black caller. Thank you.
I am a black caller.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
It was just a description, black caller. Thank you.
Another BC black collar coming at you.
Yeah.
But there is a thing that white people can't tell a good black guy from a bad black guy. You know that.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one to call.
So that's where your problems come in.
Yeah, I went down the street looking over every black guy. I was ready for the lineup.
No, the good black guys are usually wearing expensive jogging suits.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Or Nick uniforms.
What else is going on? I don't.
Well, I asked you about KC because I'm dying to know why he wasn't here yesterday.
Well, first of all, Casey now is on medication for mental problems.
Right.
And I was asking, I guess he's depressed.
He's looking more mental to me since he started the medication.
Well, don't say that because I want him on it.
I know. I'm just making an observation.
Can I tell you something?
What?
It's just because you know now that he's officially mental?
No. I'm telling you. I looked at his eyes the other day and I was like, whoa.
You just know he's mental, that's all.
There was a glassiness there.
Please take your medication. I know you think you can...
I'm taking it. I told you.
Good, because everyone is calling me saying, tell KC to hang in there for 3 weeks, and then you start to feel a difference in your depression. And I didn't realize you were depressed. But that's what that's for. You're depressed.
I guess that's what the guy said. I don't know.
And it's evidently real serious, because the guy said you should have been medicated a long time ago.
Years ago.
Years ago. Like as in high school.
Or childhood.
Yeah. Do you feel anything from the medication?
No, nothing at all.
Not yet. It's only been a week, though.
Yeah, but he skipped it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to feel anything.
Yeah, the guy told me, he said you got to try it for a couple weeks, but then you might have to push it up. They say you have to...
All right, well, let's see. Take it for a couple of weeks, for God's sakes. Give it a chance.
The other one didn't work.
Well, this might, from what I hear. So anyway, he was out yesterday. I figured he just had a mental breakdown or something. Right. He was lying. But it turns out he had stomach illness, and you know why? Figure it out.
Spoiled food.
Of course. Listen to this idiot. You bought... Well, how many steaks did you buy? 10 steaks?
Last one, probably about like almost $100 worth of steak.
All right. He bought $100 worth of steak before the blackout. And chicken before the blackout.
All right.
So we have the blackout. He's away. He did some gig.
Oh, okay. He was out of town.
Comes home. He looks in his... Now, he knows the power was out till Sunday. So that means it was out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, that's 4 days. He comes home Sunday to his apartment, opens up the freezer, everything's frozen. He goes, oh, good, everything's frozen. Now, you know what happened.
It refroze when the power came back on.
The meat defrost, and then it refroze. What's the one thing you never do in meat? Refreeze. Right. Why?
Because it goes bad.
Exactly. So this guy cooks up steaks and eats them.
I knew there was I was there for the power outage, and it was on Thursday, and I went away Friday, and I knew it must have been out for a couple of days. But I came back, and when I was going to eat, it's like, maybe I shouldn't do it. But look, the ice cubes are still frozen, and like everything's still frozen.
Everything refroze.
The ice cubes are still frozen.
You think your one freezer was the only one that stayed cold?
I didn't check it,
dude.
Also, of course, the meat it wasn't brown or nothing. It looked okay.
Dude, everyone has thrown out everything they had in their freezer. Period.
And I was thinking, like, all right, so
unless it went out for like an hour.
No, because mine was out for days.
Days.
Yeah, but I was eating it, so I like doused it.
What'd you eat? Steak?
It was steak.
Was it bad?
See, it tasted kind of funny, but I was dousing it with A1, so I didn't really taste it. I just tried to get it down, And
does your medication make you stupid or just?
Or was this before? Is it before or after?
You were stupid before.
I told my brother what I did the next day, and he goes, "Are you retarded?" I felt like a complete idiot, but
Why is Jeff the drunk calling me from the green room?
What?
Yeah, Jeff. Jeff. Hello?
Hello?
I got to get him, man.
I'm in the green room.
He's probably asleep.
Which is now the brown room.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
You're on the air.
I wanted to talk to Jeff Drunk. I was wondering why he acts like such an ass. I mean, butthead.
You want to know why he acts like a butthead?
No.
Or a butthead?
I'm an alcoholic, drunk, too. I'm a big fan of Artie Lang, and I was wondering why he acts like such an ass, promoting himself like that, and crying like a baby.
All right. I'll ask him when he comes in.
Butthead.
Thank you. Where is he, anyway?
You want me to get him? He's in the green room.
Well, I thought there was something else you had to tell me about KC, too.
No, not about KC. This is sort of weird, too. Before the commercial break, I got to tell you this.
Okay.
So remember like a month or two ago, somebody from Court TV, is it Court TV that did the DNA test?
Yeah.
Okay. Court TV came up with this idea. They said, hey, you give everybody a swab. And I'm like, I'm not going to swab myself. But some of the guys said, oh, they'll swab it.
I swabbed.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, Court TV found something real. There's only one funny thing out of all our DNA swabs.
Yeah? What was it?
Because remember, the original idea was to find out if Baba Booey was part black.
Right.
Because everybody kind of thinks he's kind of black.
Or something.
Yeah. Was it Court TV we asked to do this?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
No, I don't think it was Court TV.
What was it?
DNA. I have the plug. I can get it for you real quick.
Who are we plugging?
It's like DNA Genomics or something like that. I can get it for you real quick.
Okay, yeah. I want to make sure it's the right plug. That's what I thought it was. It's not tied into Court TV?
I think it is.
How come Will doesn't know that?
I don't know. Because
what is he doing?
I was reading a plug that was saying it was Court TV was helping us with that. So maybe there's another company that does it for them, but Court TV.
Yeah, but it's Court TV.
Yeah, Court TV, I think, is taking the credit.
Yeah, because they're the ones who ran some other tests for us, right?
I think that's who we're plugging. Not the company.
Right. Dude, come on, what happened, man?
Here.
There's something funny?
I think we're doing this through Court TV, though, right?
The DNA swab that we did with everyone in the studio was DNA Print Genomics.
No, I know, but I'm saying...
No, Howard,
I
think Court TV did some other things for us. This was a company that contacted us themselves.
Oh, okay, all right. What's the name of the company, then?
DNA Print Genomics.
DNA Print Genomics?
Yeah.
Why don't you give yourself an easy name, if you're a DNA company?
Were all the easy names taken?
I guess they're the kind of company if you want to find out if, you're...
pregnant or who the father is.
Who the father is.
Baby.
Yeah, you want to find out. So we wanted to find out if Baba Booey was part black, but we figured we'd swab everybody and see what's going on.
Baba Booey.
And there's one person on the show we found out one really funny thing about, and I happen to know what it is, and no one else does.
Uh-huh. Who is it?
And
you going to tell us?
All I know is I keep looking at this person going, Jesus Christ. I never would, now it kind of makes sense. And I think this could actually translate into some money for this person.
Really? What is this?
Like major money.
Well, why would they get money from their genetic screening?
You gotta hear the whole story. Are we going to do this now, or are we going to save this information? Oh, come on, do it.
Come on, you got to tell us.
We had scheduled the guy for when we get back, but if you want to talk about it now.
All right, I'll talk about it now. We'll still have the guy in.
Okay.
I will tell you after the commercials.
Oh, you bastard. Come on, man.
Who is it? Come on.
I won't even... All right, I'm not even going to tell you who it is.
Dude, who did the swabs? Who did it?
Name the people who did the swabs. Robin, did you do one, Fred?
Yes, I did.
Artie, did you do one?
Yes, I did.
I did one, too.
Casey, you did one?
Yeah.
Benji, did you do one? Benji did one?
John?
Stuttering John and Baba Booey.
Why don't you tell us what it is, but don't tell us the person?
No.
It could mean money.
Wow. I think... you don't know what it is, do you?
No.
I think it could be money in some weird way.
Like, what did I tell? Like your heritage or something?
You mean like somebody famous, or like just being in a part of a freak show?
I mean,
no,
wait a minute.
No, I have a thought about this, that this could turn into real money for the person. I don't know that much about the law, but
the law?
This is going to really shock the person, too.
You think, wait a minute, will this change their lives? I mean, will
it could, I think.
One of those things. I mean, are they going to be happy about this news or sad about this news?
I would be happy about it, but I think this person is going to be a little freaked out.
Really?
Look, Fred's a woman, okay?
I was going to say, was somebody a female who doesn't...
No. But it's gonna be kind of freaky because we
what?
Well, we think of you, this person, as being very well defined, and now I look at this person and I don't even want to say. No, I don't. No, you don't. You really don't. No.
But I don't know how that could be money anyway.
Gary's part monkey.
No, I'm wondering, should I start checking off African American on my applications?
I'm not going to say anything.
What does that stuff tell? Like, what is the...
It can tell your genetic background.
Do you know what DNA is?
He doesn't know what an unfrozen steak is.
Do not answer.
I thought it was frozen.
How do you spell DNA?
So what did you do? You defrosted the steak?
Yeah, and
then you ate
it?
Yeah.
And then what did you do? And then did you get diarrhea?
Just before I went to bed, so I went to sleep. A couple hours later, I wake up and I throw up. All right, fine, I threw up. Then after that, I didn't sleep the whole night. There was stuff that was coming from the bad place that... It wasn't human.
But gas?
No.
Fecal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just
diarrhea
all night.
All night, yeah, diarrhea.
Yeah, and in the morning, and it was just it wasn't even. You've never seen this stuff before.
Casey said the worst part of the night was after there was nothing left, but you still have to sit on the bowl.
Oh my God!
You're still feeling like.
You know what I did?
I can't believe. Did you throw out the rest of the steaks?
Yeah.
And the chicken too?
Yeah.
No, he's gonna try to eat.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I would never think this. His stomach was like. It was in knots. It felt like there was like milk curdling in there.
Wow.
Needs more sauce. By the way, Casey,
drink some A1.
Casey's
probably like A1.
But Casey's a prime example of a guy that uses the emergency room as his primary care provider.
Yeah, I know. So he goes over to the emergency room.
He doesn't have no doctor.
Yeah, you don't need an appointment. No, nothing.
What do they give you for that? They don't give you anything, do they?
No, I wrote it out. It was doubled over. And
all right.
Hey, one more thing. It's funny because some of it I was spent yesterday disinfecting. Some of it got on like my bed. Because you don't know.
Nice.
It got to a point where you don't even know if it was happening or not.
But you have a lot of accidents in bed, man.
A lot of assery, yeah.
What do you mean? Like you were farting? And
no, not even that. I was just like turn or something like that.
You just didn't get it all.
No, you just didn't even know that it was happening. You know?
What?
Were you naked?
No, I had a pair of shorts on.
But it went right through the shorts?
No,
he's
through the
like
bottom.
Jeff the drunk.
Who are you, Jeff Curro?
You were Jeff for a day.
Hey, needs more A1.
I was like, there's no way I can come to work like this.
I gotta get some A1 for my frozen chicken.
Did you at least call yesterday and let people know you weren't coming?
Of course I did, yeah.
Of course, like you.
The most professional. The most important thing is I got to get his breakfast, so Jason was nice enough to help me out.
Hey, I know there was a blackout, but that ice is frozen.
The ice.
Did you get the rash? Did you get the butt rash?
Oh, yeah. Down there, it was just like, it was a place I didn't even want to, like, sit for a while. Just kind of laying on my side after a while.
All right, what do we do? How come Jill Kelly's star is coming in for because she's hot?
She had some good stories.
Do you know Jill Kelly? Have we met her before?
We have.
We have where?
She was in here once before. She was a star, but now she's a producer. But she had a really interesting story where she was married to a guy, and he was on his way over to her house to kill her and himself on her front lawn.
Oh, right. I remember her. Yeah, she's hot.
Very hot.
What's she wearing?
I haven't seen her yet this morning.
Yeah, when guys are themselves on your front lawn, you must be hot.
Hot, yeah. I got to get Jeff Currow in here, too. I hope Jill doesn't mind.
They would make a nice couple.
Yeah.
Hi, Jill. Good to see you. I was on a bus, so my pants are wet.
All right, I'll get Jeff in here, and I'll get Jill in here right after these words.
What message would you like to send to Howard Stern?
To whom? We're first going to take a call from Bob in Bowie, Maryland. Bowie, rather, excuse me.
Have you ever had the desire to mind meld with Howard Stern?
Oh, thank you very much.
You're listening to the Howard Stern Show. This is the Howard Stern Show.
Would have been Arnold on E tonight, but instead it's going to be smoking hot. Star Jenna Jameson as she talks about her E! True Hollywood story from her bedroom with a bunch of chicks.
What are you thinking of?
No. I'll get to Jill Kelly in a minute. All right, so I said before the commercial that there was weird DNA stuff going on.
Yeah.
We took DNA swabs of everyone on the show. It's great.
You wouldn't be swabbed, huh?
No, I don't want to know anything.
You could have been finding out something funny about you.
Maybe I will be swabbed now that we found out this.
See, now it's going to take weeks to know.
So what? What else have we got to do?
Because we did that, I don't know, it was about a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, we did a swab. Some people, the swab didn't work.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
who didn't it work on?
When I say it didn't work, it was just inconclusive. Like, we didn't really... They probably need to do it again for those people.
Yeah, well, who are those people?
Well, who were the three people that didn't work on? I know Benji was one of them.
John and Scott DePace.
And Scott DePace, right.
So they're off the hook.
They're off the hook.
It's not about them.
Right, it was John, Scott DePace, and Benji had, what do they call that, like a weird result?
Right, they have to pass a series of tests. He didn't explain exactly how the tests work, but if they don't, then they can't come to conclusive results.
All right. I'm the only one who actually knows the results, me and Will.
Uh-huh.
And, because Will said to me, there's only one funny thing that came out of it. And I said, let me see it. Because I was going to be surprised, too, on there. I said, but let me see what this one funny thing is.
All right.
And I looked at...
saw it.
I saw it, and I went, oh, my God, it's weird. And I'm going to tell you, and then you got to think about it.
All right.
Now, Robin, who do you think it's about? Who are the remaining people that took the test that it worked on, Will? It was Robin...
Fred,
Baba Booey,
Artie,
and Casey.
So who do I think it's about?
Yeah, and what do you think it is? Take a guess. What's going through your head?
Gary seems to be suspicious for some reason. He seems to think it's him, so I'm thinking it's him.
What do you think it is?
And I think it has to do with his ethnicity.
I'm half Sicilian, and I'm thinking it's a very short boat ride to North Africa.
I think I'm Puerto Rican.
No, so, Robin, you think it's that he's black?
Yeah. That's not it.
And you said that for years, by the way. That you think
what do you think? Is that what you think it is,
I think it's me and that I'm blacker or something like I'm black or something.
Casey, what do you think it is?
I think that Fred's like related to like Mussolini or something.
Yeah,
that's like a genius or something.
That's pretty specific.
Mussolini was no genius.
No, I mean like Freud or something.
Freud? Yeah. Fred is related to Freud, Mussolini?
Either Mussolini or Freud.
Fred, what do you think it is?
I think it's got something to do with Artie. I don't know why.
Why Artie?
Like he just maybe linked Lincoln or something. He's related.
He's related to Lincoln. Now, Artie, what do you think it is? For real, no joke.
No joke. The way you said, this person is defined and he's like a definite type of person, you're going to tell me like my great-grandfather was gay or something.
But he said it could mean money, so maybe somebody's related to somebody rich.
No, that's it. But can it tell that if you're related to a specific family? Because,
no, it can't.
I mean,
that's what everybody's throwing me off here with this.
What if I told you that Fred's DNA is not human?
I would
he's
believe
a Martian.
that. I would believe
and that he really is.
He really, truly is a Martian.
What if I told you Artie was my son?
Well, that's a little far.
Well, that would mean money. Get ready, pal. What are we doing this weekend, Dad?
First, I'm going to tell you who it's about.
All right.
Is it Robin? Is it Gary? Is it Gay KC? Actually, we from the mouth.
Yes.
And we found 2 strange men's DNA in Casey's mouth. That's not what I'm talking about.
That was a problem. They found more than one person's DNA in his mouth.
Is it Fred? Is it Artie? It is Artie.
Artie.
Oh. Okay, off the hook.
Artie, you're off the hook.
Now, what's Artie on the hook for?
Everybody else was kind of what we suspected they were or whatever. Nothing really new to report.
Artie's blushing.
Come, stand up, Artie. I got to look at you.
Artie's red.
I got some color. I got some color in the Yankee game.
You immediately blushed.
Artie, you just turned red.
Yeah.
And you know something?
I better be related to
This is really weird. When I learned this, I was looking at you and going, I kind of get it, but this is going to change your whole thought about yourself and your whole identity because you're such an Italian.
But is he Puerto Rican? No.
No.
Middle Eastern?
No. He turned red for a reason.
Why?
He is
Indian?
25% Native American.
Wow. Really?
Yes, Native American, Indian.
Artie is going to own a casino.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm thinking.
I can get my money back from the Mohegan Sun?
You own the Mohegan Sun.
Anybody who's 25% Native American.
Really? Is it 25%?
What does that mean? Like, you mean you're right?
Well, I'm just thinking, if you find out what tribe you're with, you're entitled to that casino money.
And if they haven't started one, you can get with that group of people and start one.
No wonder you're so bad on fire water.
Your genetics and these DNA tests are conclusive. You are...
Who's the Indian?
Was he over 20? He was 25% at least.
They said 25%. That was a significant enough amount for somebody.
To be considered like I'm an Indian.
You're an Indian.
Yeah.
Wow. And look at him now.
He got red. He did.
He looks Indian, though, does he? I mean,
how?
He looks like
How you doing?
Hey, remember all those slurs you were making against the Indians when we were going up to the casino, Mohegan Sun?
I never made
Those
one
are your
slur.
people.
I never made
you
one slur.
self-hating Indian.
I might have went woo-woo when I rolled
he went woo-woo and me want wampum.
Hey,
well, that's true.
I'll start the one casino where the house loses.
You're 25% Native American.
I think that's really exciting. That means I can bang Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
Who is the Native American in your family?
Do you have any idea?
Okay, here's the thing. It can't be on my mother's side because that side I know a lot about it, almost the village in Naples where we're from. My father's side, there's a lot of gray areas. My father's father died when my father was 11, and he didn't know much about him either.
Right.
And
he could have been an Indian.
He could have been an Indian.
I know my old man's father grew up in Hell's Kitchen in New York, and that's really all they know about the family. I don't know my cousins on that side. It's really...
Yeah, well, you're 25% Native American, which entitles you somehow to some money with all those tribes.
Well, it depends on what tribe. His tribe will probably not own it.
Howard, you realize Artie could be Crazy Horse the Third?
In fact, Artie's tribe probably sold Manhattan for the bees.
My Indian name is Losers on Horses.
Doesn't it make sense that he can't handle alcohol?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. The firewater thing makes total sense now.
But to
be on firewater.
But to be 25%, doesn't that mean that like one of his grandparents had to be full
well, that's
Indian?
what we're saying. His grandfather, that his father didn't know, probably was an Indian.
My name is Dances with Jack Daniels.
One of my great grandmothers had an affair with like Bull or something.
Well, let me tell you something, man.
This is exciting news to me.
It is.
Why don't we call your mother and tell her that, she has a little Indian.
Somebody get me a feather.
No wonder he can't pronounce Italian words.
Right.
It's not Via Del.
Is this like a
That's definite.
They were for sure.
For sure, 100%, right?
Correct.
So what do I do? Call a senator? And
I don't know what you do. We got to look into this and how we are going to make money off it.
Dude, I'll fire every representative I have.
We now have
the Howard Stern agency.
We have to get you in touch with that Mormon group that keeps all the records of everybody's lineage.
Yeah, Hiawatha.
How about the fact, I mean...
Pocahontas.
Yeah.
You know, all the networks said that they want sitcoms to be multicultural and stuff. I'm like, put an American Indian on TV.
It's you.
Do you feel like, wow, my people really got screwed? And do you feel like you're now an American Indian representative?
Knowing my business sense, it makes sense that we sold Manhattan for $24.
No, but I'm serious. Like, now you're going to want to defend your people and everything.
I'm starting to feel very sort of...
Let's play him some of his music. Get him inculcated.
But Howard, do you feel the Cowboys and the United States government is responsible for wiping out your people?
You know what's weird about this?
Yeah.
When I watch like old John Wayne movies, I always root for the Cowboys.
You do? I thought the Indians.
No, I always...
He's a self-hating Indian.
Yeah, I always wanted John Wayne. I go, shoot him up, man. And like in F Troop, I hated those two Indians always ripped off Agorn, and I hated them for it.
Those are your relatives, dude.
I love them now.
It's unbelievable.
But
I mean,
are you going to go to Wounded Knee now and cry, or what are you going to do?
I'm going to rent Dances with Wolves.
Dominic Barber, you're on the air.
Artie, you have no idea how rich you and I are going to be.
This is great.
25%.
I just had an ice cream cone. I'm so excited.
That is substantial. It's not like they found 2% Indian.
I'm a quarter Indian.
Yeah, and that's like...
He has rights.
He does.
How much Indian do you have to be to have rights?
25% or more.
Artie could move to a reservation.
Yeah.
What's 25%? Have to. You don't have to live on the reservation. If you're part of the tribe, I'll give you an example. They found people up in Connecticut for the casinos that hadn't even known they were Indian, and they were getting an average of $700,000 a year.
That's true.
Are you kidding, Artie? Want to get married?
That is true.
Oh, my God.
That is really true. That there are people who are, like, questionable, you know, they're making claims.
And you got 25%.
Yeah.
With less than Artie.
You've got major claim to make.
How am I going to cut my sister out of
Let's find your tribe, my friend.
Wow.
Is your sister a full sister?
Yes,
you know, this is for real, because ever since I learned this about Artie, there's a tribe in California that only 8 people belong to, and they have a casino.
Oh, yeah.
And they make a fortune.
Oh, yeah. I know about that tribe.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be great. I can stop doing the road.
You realize you could build a casino in your apartment?
So can I legally have like a craps table?
No, here's what you can have.
You can't declare your apartment a reservation.
You have to find out what tribe you're from, and then you're entitled to the proceeds from the casino they build.
If they build.
I know for a fact, I've read articles where people have made claims who are 1/16% Indian.
Yeah.
And you're a quarter.
You're a quarter Indian. You're almost full Cherokee.
Man.
And you know where it could have come from, Artie? There were a lot of Indians that came to America to build a sky. Came to New York, I mean.
Right.
And they would live in a Hell's Kitchen and go to work and climb on top of the building.
My father's father was from Hell's Kitchen. I know that for
Look at him. And look at him. Doesn't he look kind of Indian?
I see it.
I do. I swear I do.
I used to think of him as that's an Italian look. But now I see that you got some Indian.
Look, I got some color at the Yankee game. I look all Indian.
And you turn all red. Christina, you're on the air.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My husband is a Native American Indian, and first you got to prove that you're part of the tribe. You have to register with the tribe, and then you have to pay dues to the tribe.
Well, he has an excuse. He didn't know he was Indian.
And I know he doesn't know that he was Indian, but he still has to find out the tribe he's from.
He's
he has to register and prove his bloodline.
We're going to find out.
That's what we're going to do.
He's Native American.
We'll start working on it in the office.
That would be great.
We'll get all the work.
In back dues, I owe $25,000.
Yeah, I mean, my husband gets fined for not going and digging trenches every year. He gets fined for not going back out to the reservation. You got to do a lot of different things, and they hate white people.
We're going to do, well, we hate white people, too, so it's fine.
Artie always hated white people.
I'm starting to hate white people.
Part of that tribe.
Artie hates white people. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Howard, I was wondering, what's Artie's real name? What kind of Indian name? Maybe Can't Win a Bet?
No, I Can't Win a Bet. Dances with Jack Daniels.
Yeah, Can't Win a Bet is my middle name.
Cochise.
Artie, do you remember any of the things you said at the craft table?
Michelangelo, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
Yeah, Artie, talk to Dominic, do your homework, because, I mean, all this time you were entitled to a free education.
That's right.
And everything, so talk to Dominic and do all the homework you can, because you probably got a windfall coming your way.
Government owes you money.
A free education.
Free education.
I can get my money back for the Connecticut School of Broadcasting?
That's right.
Howard, are you...
Sitting meatball.
So this means his sister is a quarter Indian, too?
Yes, that's true.
Are you interested in any of the other results?
Do we have any other results?
There are other results. That was just the best one.
Yeah, Robin, I forgot to mention you're part Chinese.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to get off the air.
Goodbye.
Jackie is definitely...
All right.
Dominic, get to work on this, man. I want to...
Your sister's a squaw.
This is actually exciting news today.
I know you're in shock, so calm down.
I am in
You
shock.
could give Artie 2 cows, and he would have to give you his sister.
What else? What else you got there? Anything?
The other ones were Robin was 84% African.
Yeah.
84%?
So what was the rest? Indian, I bet.
I didn't get the whole details of everything else. They just went with some of the interesting things. Fred was 95% European, 5% Native American. Gary was 4% East Asian.
Really? 4% East Asian?
How is that?
Your eyes are a little slanted.
What's East Asian? What,
I don't know.
Japanese?
And Casey was 100% European.
Wait a minute, I'm only 84% African?
I told you weren't black.
They said that was typical in, like, American.
Well, that means somewhere you got white
I
blood
want to
in
know
you.
what the rest of it is.
You have white features and lightish kind of skin. Somebody lightened you up.
Yeah, but who?
Yeah. Hey, Gary does love sushi and sake. God knows he drinks sake at the drinking show. You can see a lot of these traits.
Asian
Howard,
comes out.
I think I got to do this.
Where on earth could there be East Asian in my background?
I don't know.
I mean, everybody's from Italy.
I don't know. Ho Chi Bui.
Marco Polo went over to...
Marco Bui.
That's a shocker.
Yeah. Well, I think Artie being an Indian is a shocker.
25%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I qualify for affirmative action, all that stuff, right?
Everything. You're an Indian. You're an American
You are
Indian.
a minority, a very small minority.
Oh, God. Thank God I've always been nice to minorities.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that.
I have been.
Jill, before the commercial, that there was weird DNA stuff going on.
Yeah.
We took DNA swabs of everyone on the show. It's great.
You wouldn't be swamped, huh?
No, I don't want to know anything.
You could have been finding out something funny about you.
Maybe I will be swabbed. now that we found out this.
See, now it's going to take weeks to know.
So what? What else have we got to do?
Because we did that, I don't know, it was about a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, we did a swab. Some people, the swab didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
Who didn't it work on?
When I say it didn't work, it was just inconclusive. Like, we didn't really... They probably need to do it again for those people.
Well, who are those people?
Who were the 3 people that didn't work out? I know Benji was one of them.
John and Scott DePace.
And Scott DePace, right.
So they're off the hook.
They're off the hook.
It's not about them.
Right? It was John, Scott DePace, and Benji had... What do they call that? Like a weird result?
Right, they have to pass a series of tests. He didn't explain exactly how the tests work, but if they don't, then they can't come to conclusive results.
All right. I'm the only one who actually knows the results, me and Will.
Uh-huh.
And, because Will said to me, there's only one funny thing that came out of it. And I said, let me see it. Because I was going to be surprised, too, on there. I said, but let me see what this one funny thing is.
All right.
And I looked at...
saw it.
I saw it, I went, oh, my God, it's weird. And I'm going to tell you, and then you got to think about it.
All right.
Now, Robin, who do you think it's about? Who are the remaining people that took the test that it worked on, Will? It was Robin...
Fred,
Baba Booey,
Artie,
and Casey.
So who do I think it's about?
Yeah, and what do you think it is? Take a guess. What's going through your head?
Gary seems to be suspicious for some reason. He seems to think it's him, so I'm thinking it's him.
What do you think it is?
And I think it has to do with his ethnicity.
I'm half Sicilian, and I'm thinking it's a very short boat ride to North Africa.
I think I'm Puerto Rican.
No, so, Robin, you think it's that he's black?
Yeah. That's not it.
And you said that for years, by the way. That you think
What do you think? Is that what you think it is,
I
Gary?
think it's me, and then that I'm blacker, or something like I'm black or something.
Casey, what do you think it is?
I think that Fred's like related to like Mussolini or something.
Yeah, that's
like a genius or something.
That's pretty specific.
Mussolini was no
He's a genius.
No, I mean like like Freud or something.
Freud? Yeah. Fred is related to Freud, Mussolini?
Either Mussolini or Freud.
Fred, what do you think it is?
I think it's got something to do with Artie. I don't know why.
Why Artie?
Like he just maybe Lincoln or something. He's related
to Lincoln. Now, Artie, what do you think it is? For real, no joke.
No joke. The way you said, this person is defined and he's like a definite type of person. You're going to tell me like my great-grandfather was gay or something.
But he said it could mean money, so maybe somebody's related to somebody rich.
No, that's it. But can it tell that if you're related to a specific family? Because,
no, it can't.
I mean,
that's what everybody's throwing me off here with this.
What if I told you that Fred's DNA is not human? He's a Martian.
I would believe
and that he really is.
He really, truly is a Martian.
What if I told you Artie was my son?
Well, that's a little fun.
Well, that would mean money. Get ready, pal. What are we doing this weekend, Dad?
First, I'm going to tell you who it's about.
All right.
Is it Robin?
You don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You got to be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's going to be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
Hey Stern fans, welcome to Fine Time, the show where you, the fans, get the opportunity to ask questions and interact with your favorite Stern Show staffers, whack packers, and celebrity superfans. I'm your host, Rachel Fine. Now my guest today is a musical genius and a master of impressions. He's constantly calling the back office and entertaining our interns with his many voices and singing and piano playing. And if he does make it through on air, good luck getting a straight answer out of him. He's a middle-aged man who lives at home with his parents, and who's best known for some infamous prank phone calls to Steve Langford. Please help me welcome this unique, one-of-a-kind talent, Sour Shoes.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this? Who am I talking to now?
Artie, good. Miley Sour.
This is off to an amazing start.
Yeah,
we got
I'm jealous of your hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. Question from Sean L. I'm going to jump in. Have you ever thought of going to karaoke night? I bet your social life would jump to a 10 if you did that.
Oh, hi, Sean.
I would be happy if it jumped to annoying, professionally and personally. Yeah, I've been taken to a couple karaoke's from my brothers and sisters, and it's been great. In fact, I'm gonna load some up on my. I have some vinyl of the songs that I sang, and I'll try to load that up. Maybe GP page 909 in blue.
Question from Michael W. Michael asks, how much preparation goes into your calls, and will you ever buy a new keyboard, or are you too attached to that giant old one that you carry around with you?
Yeah, I'm too attached to the giant one that I carry around. Probably about 9 minutes goes into preparing for a phone call. Yeah, I'd say about 9 minutes.
Yeah. Is it seriously kind of off the cuff, or are you just ready to go with it?
Sometimes in the morning I wake up with an idea. Yeah, and then it does take a while to get through on the phone. Sometimes I don't, so it actually turns into from 9 minutes to maybe 3 hours and 9 minutes.
Where are you calling from? Oh, Sheboygan. We've got a prize package to the Sheboygan Sausage Festival. Alan Kirschfeld. It's an all-expense, it's yours trip. How does that sound, caller?
Excellent. Question from Ann H. Ann asks, have you ever tried an impression of Howard, and could you?
I run compression through my balls up through here, and that's why my voice is lower. Because when I started back in 1983, I talked like this. I sounded like this. Hey, Amish, you're my dog, huh? I'll put mommy on the phone, huh? Shut up, Howard. I just want to know if you wanted to play doubles tennis. Yeah. What? Hey, Robin, he's calling into my show. He hangs outside my meetings and takes my ideas. WNBC Toto kicks off a long set of music.
Yeah, I can't really do them that well, but that's what I usually try to do.
Been working on that.
Sometimes, I like to, when it's over the phone, though, it's a little bit more nasally. So it sounds a bit like it, a little more like it. Go find some perfume, you homo.
Awesome. Question from Clayton B. Clayton asks, when the Stern Show ends, presumably at the end of Howard's contract in 2015, what are you going to do with all of your free time? And assuming you continue to call into other shows that not all of us necessarily have access to, will there be a way that your fans can still hear your brilliance at work?
No, I won't call in anymore. That'll be the last time.
That's the end for you?
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about this show. The voicemail, I can leave about
109 messages
every weekend. But once the show finishes, that's all. It's until the contract gets renewed again, which it probably will.
So would you have any plans for what you want your life to look like after?
No, I wouldn't know what to do.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have to say I don't want it to end.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Bill C. asks, despite your unorthodox life and lack of commercial success, you seem genuinely fulfilled creatively. Is there a place that you wish your career would have gone, and if so, where is it?
Oh, I want to be a lefty because he said unorthodox. Because I can throw lefty and righty now.
Oh.
Because I've been practicing like 9 feet from the wall, so I can throw lefty as good as I can throw righty. So I'd like to be a spot reliever, just like with calling in. Sometimes I come in off the bench and I'm used every couple of months for a phone call. That's what I would have liked to have been, pitching from the left-hand side out of the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's baseball. If you got a pulse and you're left-handed, well, hey, listen, you can pitch to your 105 or about 109.
Were there any real career aspirations for you?
Well, probably what I'm doing now seems to be what I always wanted to do. I'm doing direct care for Autism Speaks.
Cool.
So I kind of like it because it incorporates a lot of different activities that I run with the little ones, like taking them out to the park, doing subjects with them, playing some music on the guitar, bass, and piano for them, and seeing. I really want to try and find a way to use what I'm doing here on a broader scale to maybe help a larger majority of people that have autism. If I can find something that's working with them, then I could incorporate it on a broader scale.
Very cool.
So that's really where I'm at right now. And I'm doing some part-time stuff that I've been doing since junior high school, which is Roy Rogers Fast Food, which is great because the manager, he's promoting me every other month, to do different things. But the problem I did the other day was I scheduled 14 different people on an unbusy Saturday night. Said, no, you just can't do it. Mickey, you just can't schedule 9 to 14 different people, and it's so dead in here. And then this kid made 9 trays of chicken, which I told everybody back in November, and he did the same thing again, so he can go out with, hi, Sam. And I got in trouble for that, too, because he thought the chicken wouldn't have been used, and then all of a sudden, this big bus came from a school, and they took all the chicken. They were going to a sporting event, and it turned out that we used it all. Mickey, that's not the point. And you just don't do it. Just don't cook a bunch of food, so you can bring them leftovers. So that's going well. Yeah.
Joseph M. asks, do your parents ever get annoyed with all the phone calls and organ playing in the house?
There was time before I moved back upstairs where my room was when I was probably around, when I was about 19 months old. I went upstairs and stayed there I came out of the crib and went upstairs and was there till about 19 years old. And then, but for about 4 or 5 years, I was downstairs closer to them. And that's when the calls started picking up. So they would never say it, but I bet it was a little bit too loud. So now back upstairs, the last 9 years, you really can't hear. There's like a buffer because it's older side of the house. It's next to the attic.
Do you want to get your own place, or are you happy staying there?
No, I love it at home. Yeah, that's my favorite times are from when I was a baby till now. I'd be all bored and by myself if I was on my own. And I have the best family and best mom and daddy in the world.
Good.
Yeah.
Andrew C.H. asks, I hear you call Shuli and other staffers randomly with different voices and songs. How does someone get on that special list?
Basically, the first, I guess you just have to be persistent. I think that's in Luke's gospel, persistency. Let us proclaim the mystery of faith. And I just kept, so eventually they have to pick up whoever it is that I'm calling. After the 99th phone call, eventually they're going to answer. And then it becomes a rotation for me because I always make calls in numbers. So if I do one, I have to hit the rest of the list in my head until I can walk away from the phone.
It's kind of an OCD thing, it sounds like.
Yeah, and sometimes I get grounded and I'm away from the phone for 6 months, and then it builds up even more.
Really?
Yeah, for the astronomical phone bills. And I won't be able to use the phone for a few months. So.
Do you not have unlimited minutes?
Well, no, not really. It's like I said, it's a landline, and there's a quadrant of the phone bill that it says New York City calls. So, and then there was before we got the long distance plan, which has sort of quelled it a little. There was calls all over the country to different to Rick Dees and different, but not their on-air shows, their back offices. I had giveaways and stuff that I would do.
Hey, good morning! How you doing? Sitting at 76 degrees outside right now. You know, in Oslo, Scotland, in Oslo, Norway, it's about 29 degrees, and the sun is out all day long. It's perfect for doing poopies in the pool.
And then I would just call all different back offices, and then they would hang up and stuff. But it was good practice.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, that's what you gotta do. I mean, you gotta use, you know, you've gotta be resourceful, you know. You have a rotary phone, you have a phone upstairs, so you just start, you know, that's how you start, you know. But it's always more fun on the phone because you can, you know, talk deeper and stuff, whereas in person you really can't. Because, I don't know, my voice goes up higher.
Right.
I get nervous.
Question from Michael W. Michael asks, do you still fantasize, think about the time that Lisa G rubbed you and you jizzed in your britches? And part 2, have you even lost your virginity? So let's start with part 1. Do you still think back fondly on Lisa?
Yeah, actually, she was in my dream a little bit last night because I knew I was coming here.
What's happening? Did you?
Oh, no.
You did?
Oh, no. Are you serious?
He's touching it. Look, he's touching himself.
Stop it. And I just saw her this morning and I gave her a hug. So, yeah, I always ask her, I always want her to visit me in my dreams. What was the second part again?
Have you lost your virginity?
No, I'm saving myself. I'm gonna be a good girl. Yeah, good boy, actually.
Said too much.
Question from Steve H. Steve asks, how much planning goes into a call and how crushing is it when you get cut off early?
Like we said before, it's a few minutes planning. And I never really know if I've gotten picked up on or hung up on. I can't tell because, like I said, it's a rotary phone, and I'm just doing whatever, and I can't tell if I've gotten hung up on or even if I've gotten picked up on. So there's not really anything crushing about it.
All right. Thank you, Mad Dog.
That's about 9 hours from now.
Oh, thank you, Gary. All right, Gary.
Okay, I got to run.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So when you're not responding to people talking, it's because the phone's just down and you're just playing.
Yeah,
You're not.
or it's here.
You don't
and
even
it's
hear
too
them
loud
answer.
into my other ear, and I can't hear. Either way, I don't get crushed by it. But I can understand the question. I understand what you mean. Thanks, Sean. Steve.
Either one.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Sean.
Andy H. asks, how many voices do you do? So let's go through some of the staff. Give me the name of the person first so that everyone at home knows who you're doing.
Freckles.
For sure.
I love Freckles.
Okay.
Tracy Nolan.
Oh, okay. I didn't use a
Douche.
special nickname for her.
Yeah, because she's got the cute little freckles
does.
here. And
Sour. I know that was you. Sour. I'm hanging up right now. Douche. I'm going to beat your nasty little boy ass. Douche.
Who else do you do from the show? Give me the run through.
Benji.
No, what? No. Don't turn. No.
That's because his microphone got turned off. Yeah. Robin.
I was just about to say that.
Fred.
We probably should.
Nicolas Cage.
Who's, by the way, hey, it's Gary. Hello. Nicolas Cage is Mark Coppola's older brother, cousin or brother. Right. There's a fine line between character acting and method acting. And if you don't buy into it, the audience will never buy in. And then you're indicating. Robin Williams. Hello. It's the Battle of the Bulge. Big, thick Wisconsin girls eating cheese and sausage on Lake Michigan. And Rosie O'Donnell. She sounds like Ray Romano. I kill him with kindness. Okay. I see where you're going here. You look cute. I like what you're wearing. Got your hair up, nice dangling ears. Hey, stop that! Hey, Robin! Oh, come on! Stop it now!
I want to thank Sour for taking the time to answer the questions that you, the fans, submitted. Keep sending your questions in. You can tweet them, you can Facebook them, you can email them, you can even send in a video submission and be a part of the show. And remember, this is your show, so don't screw it up. Until next time, I'm Rachel Fine. I hope you had a fine time. I want to make sure you have a fine time, and I have a special request. You're welcome, Justin O.
Oh my God, what's it gonna be?
Well, he's asked me, and this is what I do for a fine time guest, to come over and give you a little shoulder massage and see how this. I feel uncomfortable with this, Justin O. But thank you for this. Did you have a fine time today? Yeah, you did. This just got really. Can I not be doing this to the 8-year-old girl.
Hey now, you don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You got to be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's going to be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
Hey Stern fans, welcome to Fine Time, the show where you, the fans, get the opportunity to ask questions and interact with your favorite Stern Show staffers, whack packers, and celebrity superfans. I'm your host, Rachel Fine. Now, my guest today is a musical genius and a master of impressions. He's constantly calling the back office and entertaining our interns with his many voices and singing and piano playing. And if he does make it through on air, good luck getting a straight answer out of him. He's a middle-aged man who lives at home with his parents and who's best known for some infamous prank phone calls to Steve Langford. Please help me welcome this unique, one-of-a-kind talent, Sour Shoes.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this? Who am I talking to now?
Artie, good. Miley Sour.
This is off to an amazing start.
Yeah,
we got
I'm jealous of your hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. Question from Sean L. I'm going to jump in. Have you ever thought of going to karaoke night? I bet your social life would jump to a 10 if you did that.
Oh, hi, Sean. I would be happy if it jumped to a 9, professionally and personally. Yeah, I've been taken to a couple of karaoke's from my brothers and sisters, and it's been great. In fact, I'm going to load some up on my. I have some vinyl of some of the songs that I sang, and I'll try to load that up. Maybe GP page 909 in blue.
Question from Michael W. Michael asks, how much preparation goes into your calls, and will you ever buy a new keyboard, or are you too attached to that giant old one that you carry around with you?
Yeah, I'm too attached to the giant one that I carry around. Probably about
9
minutes goes into preparing for a phone call. Yeah, I'd say about
9 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it seriously kind of off the cuff, or are you just ready to go with it?
But sometimes in the morning I wake up with an idea. Yeah, and then it does take a while to get through on the phone. Sometimes I don't, so it actually turns into...
From 9 minutes to maybe 3 hours and 9 minutes.
Where are you calling from? Oh, Sheboygan. We've got a prize package to the Sheboygan Sausage Festival, Alan Kirschfeld. It's an all-expenses yours trip. How does that sound, caller?
Excellent. Question from Ann H. Ann asks, have you ever tried an impression of Howard, and could you?
I run compression through my balls up through here, and that's why my voice is lower. Because when I started
back in 1983, I talked like this. I sounded like this. Hey, Amish, you're my dog. Huh? I'll put Mommy on the phone, huh?
Shut up, Howard. I just want to know if you wanted to play doubles tennis.
Yeah. Huh? Hey, Robin, he's calling into my show. He hangs outside my meetings and takes my ideas. WNBC Toto kicks off alongside of music.
Yeah, I can't really do them that well, but that's what I usually try to do.
Been working on that.
Sometimes, yeah, I like to, when it's over the phone, though, it's a little bit more nasally. So it sounds a bit like it, a little more like it. Go find some perfume, you homo.
Yeah.
Awesome. Question from Clayton B. Clayton asks, when the Stern Show ends, presumably at the end of Howard's contract in 2015, what are you going to do with all of your free time? And assuming you continue to call into other shows that not all of us necessarily have access to, will there be a way that your fans can still hear your brilliance at work?
No, I won't call in anymore. That'll be the last time.
That's the end for you?
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about this show. The voicemail, I can leave about
109 messages
every weekend. But once the show finishes, that's all. It's until the contract gets renewed again, which it probably will.
So would you have any plans for what you want your life to look like after?
No, I wouldn't know what to do.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have to say I don't want it to end.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Bill C. asks, despite your unorthodox life and lack of commercial success, you seem genuinely fulfilled creatively. Is there a place that you wish your career would have gone, and if so, where is it?
Oh, I want to be a lefty because he said unorthodox, though. Because I can throw lefty and righty now. Oh. Because I've been practicing like 9 feet from the wall, so I can throw lefty as good as I can throw righty. So I'd like to be a spot reliever, just like with calling in. Sometimes I come in off the bench and I'm used every couple of months for a phone call. That's what I would have liked to have been, pitching from the left-hand side out of the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's baseball. If you got a pulse and you're left-handed, well, hey, listen, you can pitch to your 105 or about 109.
Were there any real career aspirations for you?
Well, probably what I'm doing now seems to be what I always wanted to do. I'm doing direct care for Autism Speaks.
Cool.
So I kind of like it because it incorporates a lot of different activities that I run with the little ones, like taking them out to the park, doing subjects with them, playing some music on the guitar, bass, and piano for them, and seeing. I really want to try and find a way to use what I'm doing here on a broader scale to maybe help a larger majority of people that have autism. If I can find something that's working with them, then I could incorporate it on a broader scale.
Very cool.
So that's really where I'm at right now. And I'm doing some part-time stuff that I've been doing since junior high school, which is Roy Rogers Fast Food, which is great because the manager, he's promoting me every other month, to do different things. But the problem I did the other day was I scheduled 14 different people on an unbusy Saturday night. So, no, you just can't do it. Mickey, you just can't schedule 9 to 14 different people, and it's so dead in here. And then this kid made 9 trays of chicken, which I told everybody back in November, and he did the same thing again, so he can go out with, hi, Sam. And I got in trouble for that, too, because he thought the chicken wouldn't have been used, and then all of a sudden, this big bus came from a school, and they took all the chicken. They were going to a sporting event, and it turned out that we used it all. Mickey, that's not the point. And you just don't do it. You just don't cook a bunch of food, so you can bring them leftovers. So that's going well. Yeah.
Joseph M. asks, do your parents ever get annoyed with all the phone calls and organ playing in the house?
There was time before I moved back upstairs where my room was when I was probably around, when I was about 19 months old. I went upstairs and stayed there I came out of the crib and went upstairs and was there till about 19 years old. And then, but for about 4 or 5 years, I was downstairs closer to them. And that's when the calls started picking up. So they would never say it, but I bet it was a little bit too loud. So now back upstairs, the last 9 years, you really can't hear. There's like a buffer because it's older side of the house. It's next to the attic.
Do you want to get your own place, or are you happy staying there?
No, I love it at home. Yeah, that's my favorite times are from when I was a baby till now. I'd be all bored and by myself if I was on my own. And I have the best family and best mom and daddy in the world.
Good.
Yeah.
Andrew C.H. asks, I hear you call Shuli and other staffers randomly with different voices and songs. How does someone get on that special list?
Basically, the first, I guess you just have to be persistent. I think that's in Luke's gospel, persistency. Let us proclaim the mystery of faith. And I just kept, so eventually they have to pick up whoever it is that I'm calling. After the 99th phone call, eventually they're going to answer. And then it becomes a rotation for me because I always make calls in numbers. So if I do one, I have to hit the rest of the list in my head until I can walk away from the phone.
It's kind of an OCD thing, it sounds like.
Yeah, and sometimes I get grounded and I'm away from the phone for 6 months, and then it builds up even more.
Really?
Yeah, for the astronomical phone bills. And I won't be able to use the phone for a few months. So.
Do you not have unlimited minutes?
Well, no, not really. It's like I said, it's a landline, and there's a quadrant of the phone bill that it says New York City calls. So, and then there was a whole before we got the long distance plan, which has sort of quelled it a little. There was calls all over the country to different to Rick D's and different, but not their on-air shows, their back offices. I had giveaways and stuff that I would do.
Hey, good morning. How you doing? It's 76 degrees outside now. In Oslo, Scotland, in Oslo, Norway, it's about 29 degrees, and the sun is out all day long. It's perfect for doing poopies in the pool.
And then I would just call all different back offices, and then they would hang up and stuff. But it was good practice.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. I mean, you gotta use, you've got to be resourceful, you know. You have a rotary phone, you have a phone upstairs, so you just start, you know, that's how you start, you know. But it's always more fun on the phone because you can, you know, talk deeper and stuff, whereas in person you really can't. Because, I don't know, my voice goes up higher.
Right.
I get nervous.
Question from Michael W. Michael asks, do you still fantasize, think about the time that Lisa G rubbed you and you jizzed in your britches? And part 2, have you even lost your virginity? So let's start with part 1. Do you still think back fondly on Lisa?
Yeah, actually, she was in my dream a little bit last night because I knew I was coming here.
What's happening? Did you come?
A little.
You did?
Oh, no. Are you serious?
He's touching it. Look, he's touching himself.
Stop it. And I just saw this morning and I gave her a hug. So, yeah, I always ask her, I always want her to visit me in my dreams. What was the second part again?
Have you lost your virginity?
No, I'm saving myself. I'm gonna be a good girl. Yeah, good boy, actually.
Said too much.
Question from Steve H. Steve asks, how much planning goes into a call and how crushing is it when you get cut off early?
Like we said before, it's a few minutes planning. And I never really know if I've gotten picked up on or hung up on. I can't tell because, like I said, it's a rotary phone, and I'm just doing whatever, and I can't tell if I've gotten hung up on or even if I've gotten picked up on. So there's not really anything crushing about it.
All right. Thank you, Mad Dog.
That's about 9 hours from now.
Oh, thank you, Gary. All right, Gary.
Okay, I got to run.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So when you're not responding to people talking, it's because the phone's just down and you're just playing.
Yeah,
You're not.
or it's here.
You don't even
It's too
hear
loud
them.
into my other ear, and I can't hear. Yeah. So yeah, either way, I don't get crushed by it, but I can understand the question. I understand what you mean. Thanks, Sean. Steve.
Either one.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Sean.
Andy H. asks, how many voices do you do? So let's go through some of the staff. Give me the name of the person first so that everyone at home knows who you're doing.
Freckles. I love Freckles.
Okay.
Tracy Nolan.
Oh, okay. I didn't use a
Douche.
special nickname for her.
Yeah, because she's got
I want to thank Sauer for taking the time to answer the questions that you, the fans, submitted. Keep sending your questions in. You can tweet them, you can Facebook them, you can email them, you can even send in a video submission and be a part of the show. And remember, this is your show, so don't screw it up. Until next time, I'm Rachel Fine. I hope you had a fine time. I want to make sure you have a fine time, and I have a special request. You're welcome, Justin O.
Oh my God, what's it gonna do?
Well, he's asked me, and this is what I do for a fine time guest, to come over and give you a little shoulder massage and see how this. I don't feel uncomfortable with this, Justin O, but thank you for this. Did you have a fine time today? Yeah, you did. This just got really. Can I not be doing this to the 8-year-old girl?
This is a Howard TV original production.
On this episode, Howard and Beth become foster parents to these little guys. After they become attached to them, will they be able to say goodbye?
No, I just need a tissue.
What's your problem? Testing 1, 2.
Baba Boo.
Yeah.
Hey-oh, yeah.
My work with North Shore Animal League America started 10 years ago, and since then I've been a volunteer, I've been a spokesperson. We love our household with our 4 adopted cats from North Shore Animal League. We have Leon Bear, who's 22 pounds. We have Charlie Boy, who's 18 pounds.
Right, we have some big cats.
And we have Apple, and then we have Walter. So we do already have a house full of cats.
I was always sort of a cat person, but I really, people go, well, they're not like dogs, but they are. Our cats follow us around the house all day. They're great animals, great pets. Beth's very active in North Shore Animal League, and I'm very pleased to be peripherally involved. Not as much as Beth, but...
You're really involved, especially
not
now.
Not like you.
Well,
but,
in light of our recent situation.
Beth announced to me the other day that we're fostering 6 kittens.
Oh, my God.
The kittens have no mother, so the kittens are so little, they had to be
She has to feed them?
Well, I think she's breastfeeding these kittens herself. I'm not kidding. A recent situation is now we are foster parents to many cats, little kittens.
I went to a local municipal shelter, and I knew that the cats were in danger of being euthanized, so I decided to grab a litter and foster the litter.
So what Beth and I are doing is we open up our home. Beth gets them very young, feeds them, socializes them. I photograph them. Beth, takes them under her wing and really takes care of them.
You name them.
I name them. You got Tarzan. He was the first one.
He was that cute tabby that fell and that immediately was taken with you. Like, he ran right up to you, was always at your feet, gazing in your eyes.
Yeah, I felt like he was mine, and he would be on his back, and I'd rub his belly, and I just fell in love with him right away.
Then the 2 orange guys.
That's Kimosabi and Tonto. Then we had these 2 females. We had Brenda Starr.
Hi, Brenda Starr. You're so pretty. You are a pretty girl.
And Ophelia after Robin. They were really great, very photogenic, by the way, because I would take them and they would actually pose for me. I'd take a pair of shoes, put them in the pair of shoes. Those 2, Ophelia and Brenda, they were great. Finally, there was Gwyneth.
We just knew them so well after being with them for, I guess it was 3.5 weeks total.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, there's a kitten.
I said to Beth, we can't let go of these kittens.
You actually asked me if we could adopt Tarzan.
Right.
You go, can we please keep him? And then I said, I'm that person that's supposed to say that to you. But I really committed to the foster program at North Shore Animal League. And I knew that I was nurturing these kittens to give a handoff to great families. I had my people from North Shore Animal League America with me. We went through every single application, and we really were excited that there were a couple people that wanted to double adopt. These are my top picks, and it is exactly who your top picks were. Yay. So we've come to, now we're going to call them and tell them the news, and I feel like a mother, and I feel very proud to call these people. I would be honored for you to take 2 brothers. I'm hoping that you will take Tonto and Kimosabi. Howard named them.
We'd love to bring them into the home and, make them ours, and as well as the rest of our gang. So thank you very much.
After sifting through, reading these applications, I really felt like we came up with these fabulous families. Two very, very special little girls, two little tabbies that I think would be a wonderful addition to your home.
I am just so excited.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, bye-bye.
I got so excited. He was so excited. It was really emotional for me. And the excitement and joy in these people's voices. You are now going to be Tarzan's mother.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We really had our hearts set on, taking one of these babies, so it really means a lot to us, too.
Oh, I'm really emotional, and I cannot wait to meet you. These families were really great families.
We're so excited.
You are?
Yes.
I'm excited too. Well, do you want to hear who's going to be joining your family?
Absolutely.
Her name is Gwyneth, and she's the cutest white kitten with some little black dots on her, and she is just, I gotta say, one of my favorites. She's just a doll.
Is that the one you had up on the Twitter feed?
Oh yes, she's
the white one? Oh, yeah.
She's the one. She's the one on the plate.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the one my daughter wanted.
Oh, you're kidding! Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. I have goosebumps. Well, I'm so excited. Thanks, Dave.
Take care.
Bye. Mission accomplished.
Yay!
Thanks, guys, girls. So I heard their voices, but I had yet to meet them, and it wasn't until the day, about a week later, that after they were all spayed and neutered, that I got to meet everybody at North Shore Animal League. I fell madly in love with these little guys, and even now I'm emotional thinking about them. But that was a very, very rough day for me.
I just need a tissue or something.
I have.
You do it. You can do it. I can't say this. Mommy waiting. You're getting them silly.
I cried like a baby. I met every family, and I had to hand off each kitten to these wonderful people whose applications were so stellar.
Oh.
Hello. Surprise.
Jeffrey.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
Hi. So nice. I'm gonna hug you. That day that I had to say goodbye to them and hand them off to their new families was like a part of me was leaving. This is Kemosabe. I'm so happy to be handing her over to such a beautiful family. Well, Howard and I, we kind of put together our thoughts on the two of them, and I wrote out this just little things about their personalities. I spend time writing up individual synopsis about each cat, and I put the type of food that they liked and special rubs on their bellies, who liked what, and I put that together, and I also give them the Bianca's Furry Friends Facebook page. I set up a Facebook page called Bianca's Furry Friends, Beth's Fosters, and I already have pictures of the whole litter up. And I really would love if you joined. I want your home address or your mailing address, because Howard took some great shots of them, and we were going to make some prints and have them sign them for you guys.
That would be awesome.
I knew these kittens so well, and I remember smelling every one of them. I even recognized their smell, their individual smells, kissing them, handing them off. Oh, I know their smells and everything. Good boy. Have a great life. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just goodbye for now.
It was such a bittersweet, beautiful thing handing them over, but yet I felt like pieces of me were being taken away. All right, can I hand this over to you? You carry that for me?
And her toy, you can put her toy in the carrier with her.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Best of luck with her. She's amazing.
Do you think it will ever get any easier for us every time we hand off a batch of kittens? I don't know. I mean, it's a very difficult thing to do, but we keep telling ourselves, well, this is so great. These kittens wouldn't have had a home, or maybe they would have. Who knows? Empty pen of fosters. They've all been handed off to their new incredible families. This has been so bittersweet and emotional. But let's walk over to the new crop that I'm taking home. Howard and I are going to be very busy with these 4. We weren't really sure I was going to grab another batch of kittens when I handed off our kittens, so I grabbed the mama cat and her babies, and then I thought, what the heck? Let's get another litter that I found over here. And then the little orange guy was by himself, so I threw him into the mix too. We have 2 girls, 2 boys, 2 little gray girls, orange boy, tabby boy, and they're going to be coming home with me today probably for the next 3 weeks. And then over here, which underneath that towel, there is a mama cat who's probably about 2 years old, with itsy bitsy tiny 3 little week-old kittens, and they're coming home too. That empty feeling of all of the 6 that had been given to families, I had a whole new batch to take care of. So it kind of, I put all my energy into them. Now that's Mama Cat and her 3 little itsy bitsy week-old babies. So I can't wait to see what Howard's gonna name her. She's beautiful though. Right now we have a mother cat, Grace.
Yeah, let's go see them.
She has 3 kittens. They're still breastfeeding. Literally, we got them 3 days old, these kittens. They are living in our house right now, getting prepared to, for adoption. I'd love to see the 3 kittens and the mother all go to the same house. But that's a dream. They're so great.
Beth, thank you for everything that you do for animals. It's through you that we learned about North Shore. It's through you that we've kind of, contributed what we have to North Shore. And, through the show, we heard about the cats, and, we bring up cats, we raise cats, we always go and save cats. So we feel lucky to have these 2 cats.
We're really honored to have him and to be selected, and we will, they have our promise that we'll be an excellent family for him. And we're just really excited. We're really excited, and thank you.
North Shore and Beth and Howard have made a family of 4 really, really happy. Everybody at North Shore's just been really, really gracious, and we're really excited to have these cats in our household.
Thank you, Howard and Beth. We're so excited to add her to our family. She's going to be in a loving home.
Thank you so much for picking us.
I didn't know I'd be so emotional about this project, and certainly not understand all the emotions that would come out of me, but I feel like we're doing really something great. Like it's a small thing, but it's rewarding. It really is. And it's great to have the support of the audience. Look, I know there's some people watching this going, what the fuck are you carrying on about? And what do you care?
Blame
and all
me.
that. Yeah, but Beth brought me into this, and I'm glad she
What do you think, girls? His name is Tarzan. He's our new baby kitty.
Hey now, you don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You got to be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's going to be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
What happens when Howard Stern's staff asks him the questions they've always wanted answered? It's time to Ask Howard with Rachel Fine.
All right, Howard, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do it, Rachel. Come on.
Sal Governale wants to know.
How would you like to be best remembered?
I think in terms of professionally, I'd like to be remembered as a guy who was an innovator and someone who really succeeded in his mission. And that mission always was and always will be to make somebody laugh while they're driving their car. You know, to make that commute less boring. I get a lot of Twitters and emails and tweets where people say, hey, I was in my car and I couldn't leave. So I always feel mission accomplished. And that still turns me on. And from a personal standpoint, and I don't know that I'm there yet, but I would like people to say, wow, he was a good friend and somebody who was interested and cared. Yeah.
Question from Jeremy Lipkin of the Tapes team. He asks,
what advice would 2013 Howard give to 1979 Howard?
I would say don't be so hungry that you actually say things you might regret. That, yes, be fearless, do whatever's natural, but I don't necessarily have to make everything about me.
I got married when I was 23 years old.
Thank
I never
you.
even lived.
Me too.
I never lived on my own.
Me neither.
So I had to go into an individual thing.
Me too.
I had to get my own place.
Me too. Shut up over there.
I would say, hey, Howard, why don't you get your ego in check? And if a guest is sitting there, it doesn't have to be about you. And also I'd say somehow work out that compulsion that makes you think you have to have every listener in the world. You never can have every listener in the world. It's never going to happen, even though you think somehow magically you could. I think those things would have helped me not to be so much a better performer. Maybe it would have, but it would have made me enjoy my career more. And I would also say to young Howard, go out and have a life a bit, because I was so career obsessed. And I still am. I still need career. If I'm going to be in it, I'm obsessed. But you've got to have some balance in your life. I found it very difficult. I'm one track, and most guys are, but I'm really one track. Yeah, I would have said, have a little bit of fun. You're entitled.
question from Doug Goodstein at Howard TV.
What do you think is the biggest misconception the public has about you?
I think that there's a segment of the population out there who only thinks that I'm some guy who gets on the air and talks about women's boobs and dick jokes and that kind of thing. They think that there's nothing more sophisticated going on the show. My suspicion is they've never heard the show, or they heard it once and perhaps I was doing something completely over the top, which I'm known to do, but I think the show has a lot more intelligence behind us. I don't think we're just like slapstick Three Stooges, where we take a woman and stick her on the Sybian. I think that somehow there's a perception that I forced women to do that, or I'm curious about human behavior. And to me, sexuality is such a taboo that it seemed to me, especially on terrestrial radio, that to explore sexuality, to ask women about their sexuality, men about their sexuality, men about penis size, masturbation, I think has only been healthy, what we do. But if that's the perception of me, that I'm just some gross guy who only knows how to say dirty words,
I once heard an interview with Larry King, and he said, "Oh, Howard Stern, what he does is tell me what not to say, and I'll say it." If that really was my career, how could I have survived in a business and thrived for, I don't know, how many years we're going on now, 35, 40 years? How could that have happened? You know, that's ridiculous. So there isn't that misconception.
This was a great episode. Thank you so much.
This was fun, Rachel.
I enjoyed
Very
it.
professional, unlike the rest of the staff.
Thank you, sir.
Right. You don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You got to be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's going to be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
On Tuesday's wrap-up show, we had two big guests and two big topics. One was JD to talk about his time in the studio with Lisa Ann. And, of course, we had Richard in his Metallica shirt talking about what he'd be willing to do to sit in front of Metallica in studio. Lots of detailed conversation for you to enjoy. JD Harmeyer and Richard Christie joining us, of course. Richard shockingly wearing a Metallica shirt.
Yeah, and Metallica shoes. Don't forget that. I have Kill 'Em All shoes on.
Do you have Metallica boxers?
Yeah, I have Ride the Lightning boxers.
Metallica or Striper? Because they're both your favorite. So Metallica or Striper?
I can't choose a favorite. I'm Metallica.
Yeah, you better choose Metallica for the people in the metal community kill you.
I know. I get a lot of shit about liking Striper.
Will you be wearing a Metallica shirt the rest of the
Every
live
day?
days
Until they come in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Will you be wearing that Metallica shirt every day?
Yeah.
No, are you serious?
No, I'll change it up a little bit. I got, you know.
How many Metallica shirts do you have?
I have a bunch. But a lot of them are my double XL from my heavier days.
Were you double XL?
I was XL and double XL, yeah. Yeah, so I might have to invest in some Ls.
Can we talk to him now, what we're talking about in the back office?
Sure.
You were getting some shit in the back office. Somebody was complaining, and I thought they had a valid argument that you came to me to complain that people were getting Metallica tickets too easily. So you created a quiz, and then when a guy got all three wrong, you gave him the tickets anyway, so you didn't really stand tall.
It's Howard's decision,
Well,
not
you
mine.
said gave him the tickets.
I felt bad for the guy. I know how Howard feels with this stuff. I mean, the guy was trying, and he seemed passionate.
But you were like, this is bullshit. You guys are just giving these tickets away to people who don't care.
But you know what? He did name some, like, early Metallica songs and albums.
He thought Injustice for All was their first album.
I know.
Come on.
You asked him to name 3 songs. That's what got him to win the tickets. Can you name 3 Metallica
songs that were mentioned on the show all day?
I'm a pushover. What can I say?
We were waiting for you to tell Howard to hang up the phone.
I can't be mean to people that want to go see Metallica.
Now, I mean, Gary's half joked about Striper, but you say stuff is your favorite all the time. You have a lot of favorites. But with Metallica, it seems like you're willing to go even further to be in studio and see them live right in front of you.
Well, I mean, to be I mean, how many people get the chance to watch a private Metallica show? It's going to be Benji, Fred, and Howard in the studio. So that's 3 people watching Metallica. If I get to be the 4th person, it's like a fan's dream come true.
Willing to do shots of your own cum or other, but not other people's cum. That was the other weird thing that what people were saying. Like, were you going to drink Jose's cum?
No. Sal made me clear on what this was. I said, okay.
Sal, the voice of clarity.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He reminded me of what I said I'd do. I won't drink Jose's cum, but I'd be willing to put mine in my mouth and spitball it into his mouth.
Right, and what makes you think he wants to do that?
There's 0 chance he's going to want to do that, so I don't have to worry about it.
We were like, even today, like, you know, you've been married for a while now. You just went on a nice romantic vacation with your wife. When you talk about guzzling a shot of your own cum, do you discuss this with her?
Yeah, once in a while. She's cool.
This in particular.
I think I did, yeah.
And what was her reaction?
She's like, yeah, it's cool.
She was adamant.
She goes,
not
I have to
Jose's
do
cum.
it. You should do it.
Exactly. I know what it feels like. But as long as it's not doing stuff with women, I think she's cool with it.
And Jason was also asking, I think it was Jason, I'm not sure who it was in the back, like, what happened to your hard drives of all that porn?
It's in storage still. I mean, I still have it. I'm not like you, John. I don't deny that I still jerk off.
But the discussion we were having in the back office was you went from a guy. Now, granted, you have a wife and everything, and I get that, and you are engaged in what appears to be a very healthy relationship. But you went from a guy who used to schedule date nights with yourself, who had hard drives of porn, who could tell me, oh, I know her. She's my favorite. She was in Playboy in 1988 in February, and then it seems like you just completely cut it all off.
You're talking about elves at Christmas. Being tucked in by elves.
Well, that's not porn, though.
I mean, I went 10 years without getting laid, so you tend to build up a collection. But also, I find it disrespectful if I talk about that kind of stuff now, because my wife listens, my wife's mom listens. It's like, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Theoretically, and I'm not saying you do, you could still be watching porn, but you'd rather not discuss it.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't really as much as I used to. I mean, I'll admit, every guy pretty much does, but not near as crazy as I used to be.
And I was saying that in the back, how when you got closer with now your wife, like you sort of changed your attitude on that when it came to on-air stuff. Understandably so. You feel like, it's insulting her in a way.
Do you really store it? And do you ever go to the storage room and say, like,
no.
I got to get... You don't really.
I just never bothered to erase the drives, and it's like I just threw them in storage.
If you went there today and you were giving up your storage unit and you had to throw it away, would it be hard for you to throw it away?
Yeah, it's memories. Sentimental. I'll be like, oh, I remember that day in the storage unit when I jerked off to that folder in that drive.
A lot of dates. Now, Garrett, was Howard obsessing over the Metallica songs all weekend?
Yes, we were going back and forth in emails, but rightfully so. There's a lot to choose from. He wants us to be great. We were sort of going back and forth over the, maybe even though we love them and they're huge, maybe there's a portion of our audience that just isn't into metal. So maybe you have to do Enter Sandman to make sure you're getting the song that most people know. And then the second song was like, listen, if I have my choice, for me, it's One. I just love that song on 100 different levels. But we were saying, well, maybe that's not a song that everybody knows, but it was played pretty heavily back on MTV back in its day, but it's hard to say.
That's basically the song that broke them. Like they made their first video for One. It was a big hit on MTV.
It's also 7 minutes long.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you got Metallica, why not choose a long song so you can get more of them?
I would love to see them do that. I've never seen them do that song.
Well, and JD and I discussed, too, like, I love Kill 'Em All. I love Ride the Lightning. I love Master of Puppets, the early, more hardcore stuff. And I would love to see them do like Motor Breath or something, real old. But I understand that, it's Howard's show, and most of the audience would want, something they've maybe heard before.
There's no way we can have Metallica on and play Nothing Else Matters. They're one of their slowest songs.
That's true, too. There's something to be said for that. Like, we want them to shake the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in JD's camp there. I don't think Nothing Else Matters is the right song to play. I voted for Master of Puppets for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, and Fred has played that coming out of commercials, so it's a fairly well-known song. And Master of Puppets has been consistently voted the most important and biggest heavy metal album of all time.
If you're into metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I get that. If you're a metalhead or if you're really into metal, but for the portion of our audience that may not know anything about metal, I want everybody. But you're trying to find a good balance.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about what Eric the Midget's gonna like. It's like I want a good Metallica song.
Yeah. Tony in L.A., welcome to the wrap-up show.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, Tony.
I just want to say I am the biggest casual Metallica fan, and One is the song that, if you ask me name one song, it would be One. And I think that is a go-to. You can't not have it on your list if you're only going to do two songs. I mean, does that make sense?
It's an opinion, but it's an opinion I happen to agree with.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with you there. I think Enter Sandman is a more well-known Metallica song outside of the metal universe than one is.
I would say that's your best chance of somebody knowing a Metallica song who doesn't know Metallica.
Right. But look, it's a great problem to have when you got to choose between all these different songs. That's for sure.
Plus, you could see how emotional Howard got listening to One. It was really cool. And I get the same way. I can cry to that song because I remember hanging out with my buddy, in Kansas at a campsite, listening to the And Justice for All cassette that I bought at a gas station. So it's I have so many memories of that song One.
But why cry over it?
Did he pass away? Or?
No, he's still around. But it's just great memories. I lived my high school years with the And Justice for All album and all their earlier albums.
Is that song you cooked the shit to? Or?
No, that was later.
That song, I would tell you, the video for that song gets to me.
One?
Yeah. Because it's a pretty heavy thing, and that book was a big book the book Johnny Got His Gun was a big book in my house because my brother was really anti-war, and that book was written during the Vietnam War to be anti-Vietnam without having to use Vietnam as a backdrop, and so I think that video is amazing.
Well, I mean, they took clips from the movie.
The movie, that's right.
I want to see the movie. I haven't ever seen it before.
Hey, I don't know if Kim, did you ever play with him when you were in Iced Earth, on a stage with him, or?
No.
You did that festival, right, a couple years ago. Wasn't your band on the bill?
We played at their Orion Festival last year in Atlantic City, which was a dream come true. Lars introduced us, and it was it was a dream come true.
I think a lot of tears will be flowing in the studio when Metallica comes in. I could tell. You're getting all choked up. Gary's getting choked up. Howard was getting choked up during the show. Should be interesting, don't you think, JD?
I just think it'd be funny watching Metallica play this hard metal song, and Richard Christie has tissues next to him, down in his eyes.
I know, that's the tough thing. It's I don't want to cry in front of my heroes, but also they might appreciate that this song makes me so emotional.
Do you think they'd be flattered by that in some way?
I don't know. It's hard because they're when I was a kid, Metallica and Slayer were the heaviest bands ever. So to know that now I'm a 39-year-old man crying in front of Metallica, it would be embarrassing, but also I can't help it.
Well, wouldn't you want James Hetfield to call you a pussy or something like that? Wouldn't that make you feel good, too?
That would be awesome if he came over and slapped me and said, act like a man.
See, that's the problem with punishing Richard. He's willing to do everything, so you can't find anything that he really is hesitant to do.
Listen, once you got to swallow your own cum, what's left?
Well, you said have George pour soda in his ass, and he lit up. He couldn't wait for it. I mean,
that's easy.
That's not weird for you because I know that you have a friendly relationship. You go out with George and Brad, you and your wife, and so he's your friend.
Yeah.
Is that weird for you to have him pour shit in your ass?
No, that's fine as long as there's no contact. I think if I was to make out with George, I wouldn't want to do it because Brad would get upset. But I think just, a friendly little pouring beer or soda in my ass is fine. I don't think Brad would have a problem with that.
Now, the other guy who spent a lot of time in the studio today was none other than J.D. Harmeyer with his dream girl, Lisa Ann. And it sounds like you said you took a different approach with her. Rather than just being blunt and saying what you want, you did the sort of Ganji, the friend thing.
Well, yeah, for the most part, I try to avoid the friend zone. Because I know once you stay there, you're there.
Are you in it now?
With her?
Yeah.
Possibly, probably. Who knows? But definitely now. If she's dating someone. But I thought, this is a woman that works in adult films, and she goes around traveling to clubs and stuff, and does strip dances and whatnot. And she has guys constantly trying to have sex with her. So I thought I would try and not, just be friendly.
You're not just because she's dating a guy doesn't put you in the friend zone. You could be on deck.
Well,
it doesn't put you. But I think you're in the friend zone the way I'm hearing her talk.
Probably, but there's a little optimistic part of me that says something may happen. I don't know.
If you had the chance, say for whatever reason, not on the air, and it just came up, because I was thinking about this today, even myself thinking about it. If she said, "Come on over tonight," and everything, and she's ready to go, would you have any performance anxiety at all, or would you try not to think about it?
Well, I possibly. I mean, I have anxieties, being with girls, already. So, yeah.
What part of her would you go after first? The big boobs, the ass? Because you like her ass, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably kiss her first.
But then what?
And then probably grab her ass.
Does she live in New York?
I think she goes back and forth.
So there is a chance of a relationship.
Well, listen, we've known each other for a while, so I think if she wanted to hang out.
How long have you known each other for?
A few months.
And you've just been texting like every other day, it sounds like?
I mean, we've talked about like hanging out and stuff, but it's never happened, of course.
Robin was the one who said she felt really bad for you, because it sounds like you're being sort of used here a little bit or led astray.
Listen, I didn't push her to be on the show or anything. That's, I don't know.
I don't think he's being led astray. He went after her. She's being nice, but she's not saying, hey, there's a chance we're going to bang. She's just being a nice person to him.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's being led astray.
No, and I wouldn't be, it's not like I wouldn't be surprised if, she didn't want me. That's almost what expected.
But here's the thing that says really speaks volumes to me. You guys talk every day, every other day, whatever. Mm-hmm. Hey, we'll hang out. Here she is in New York.
I am well aware.
And you're not hanging out.
Garrett, I am well aware of this. So, yes, I know.
One of the things I noticed, Gary, during the interview was she said that when she was on set, like her friends would take pictures of her half naked, whatever, and send them to JD. But ultimately, they would say, why don't you just bang the guy? Right. Be a friend, like be a pal, But I don't think JD wants that. Like, I think he wants it, but he doesn't want it that way. He wants to kind of earn it.
He wants her to want him. That's part of it. But the other thing, too, is he really, to me, is in the friend zone, because I found her to be very genuine when she said, because I think, she wanted to throw JD a bang, she could. She seems to be like, no, we have more than that. I don't want to do that.
Well, she said that she didn't want to hurt him by doing it. I don't know if I believe that or not. That she was worried she would hurt you if she just had sex with you. For sex.
I mean, if she thinks, listen, we haven't even really discussed this. I've been very weary. I don't want to go into. I make little jokes here and there, but I haven't tried to dirty talk or anything.
How would you discuss? What would be your move in this situation?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't just sort of let her. I'd almost like to let her. If she wants me bad enough or whatever, I don't know.
Where would you go to bang her? Would you let her come to your apartment?
I guess, but I would not prefer that at all.
What would you prefer, a hotel room?
I would. It's much nicer than my apartment.
I think that when you're really into a hot chick, right? Part of of getting there is like, I've worked really hard for it, or somebody that you really like, worked really hard for it. And if she just gives it to him for no good reason, is that a hollow victory? Is that part of it? Like, don't you want to say, I worked hard for something, I want her to like me?
Yeah, of course. I don't want to be with anyone that doesn't want to, be with me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But a lot of people ask the question. I mean, I get it. You don't want to pity fuck. I understand that. Yes. But this is your, sort of dream porn star kind of. She's coming to you. She's willing to do it. Can you kind of put that aside just to enjoy the physical experience, then later deal with the...
I don't know. It would have to happen, I guess. But, I don't know.
Do you still watch your porns?
A little bit.
He said he said that he watched her porn to pull clips, but didn't jerk off to it because he's got feelings for her.
Let's talk about when you got on the couch with her.
Yes.
I know Howard kept asking if you were hard, and you said no, but was there a point where it started to heat up a little bit, or did you feel like, all the cameras
she felt nice. She felt, she's I don't think she's very tall, and that's a good thing. I like that. And,
See, I don't believe him. I should have came in and asked to check.
That'd be great if you got him off then.
The human pecker checker.
I had fucking Jason in a with the camera in front of me. There's no way I could do that. I cannot.
So you couldn't be a porn star and get hard in front of other people.
No. I'm no performer in that sense.
And since you've befriended her, does it bother you that she does porn, or that's what's?
No, if it did, I wouldn't. I'm fairly open-minded, I guess. So, yeah, if it bothered me, I wouldn't be, sort of seeing what happened.
John in Ohio, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, JD, first of all, buddy, I am not calling to bust your balls, okay? So don't take this personal.
Uh-huh.
But listen to me. You got to accept the fact that these girls are using you, my friend, because of where you work. I mean, you don't take care of yourself. You hang out in your apartment, play video games. You're going after the highest caliber women you can go after.
I go after all sorts of girls. I go after all sorts of girls.
You got to take it down, brother.
I go after all sorts of girls. Just
all
because
right,
you don't hear about it on the air.
You go crazy over these girls that are nuts, dude, that just don't seem attainable for most guys.
Oh, well, listen, dude, shoot for the stars sometimes,
But I still love you, brother, so don't take me wrong. I'm still one of your fans. So
I get what he's saying, JD. Like, if you were just up front and say, I don't care why they're banging me, I get it, and I'm using the show to get it, that would make more sense. But it doesn't seem like that's what you're doing.
Listen, we never talk. Whenever I talk to girls or whatever, I never talk about the show or anything. Do
you tell them about your Full Sail diploma? Do you ever use that?
No.
Rick in Pittsburgh, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys, nice to speak to you. By the way, Fuel would be the song that I might like to hear Metallica play. But as it relates to JD, I think sometimes, again, you guys forget JD doesn't make much money. I think it'd be great if some of you, opened up your wallets with a little cash and gave him a pool of money to take her out for a real nice night, maybe get that hotel room.
No.
Well, she's not for sale, if that's where you're going.
Yeah.
And JD could afford to take her out. I don't think taking her out or having the means to take her out is what's holding him back.
Yes. I agree.
But how does he close, Gary? I mean, can he close at this point?
Don't know. In the zone. The friend zone. He's in the friend zone. It's it's a quagmire.
It's tough to get out of. Michael in Tennessee, welcome to the wrap-up show.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Richard, what other bands would you do gay shit for if you could go see their shows?
There's probably a lot of them.
Striper?
Well, I mean, the thing is now I've been lucky enough that I've kind of got to know some of my favorite bands. Like, I kind of know the guys in Striper. I know the guys in Coheed and Cambria. So, luckily, I don't have to perform a lot of gay stuff to get to hang with them. But there's still bands out there that I would do that for. But, Metallica is pretty much the biggest metal band ever. So... I do a lot for.
Would you do something gay to see Slayer perform "Rain and Blood" in studio?
Oh, fuck yeah! I'll suck you off in a second, JD.
Would you do it to Metallica?
I'll be your Lisa Ann.
No.
Is there a guy? Which guy in Metallica would you do stuff with?
No, I wouldn't expect them to do that.
No. If they wanted to, if they kind of called on you.
Kirk Hammett.
No, then it's not for romance. I just want to do gay stuff to get to see them with people on the show.
You could differentiate? Like, you could kiss a dude and in your mind go, this is not gay?
Yeah, of course. If it's a stunt, yeah.
Wait a minute. If you sucked off JD, you're going to then say it wasn't gay?
It'd be funny as hell.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be.
I'd be laughing while I did it. But it wouldn't be gay.
If a certain Viking metal band came on,
Amon Amarth, yeah, I would consider it. I'd do a lot for Amon Amarth.
Like, the only thing I could think of is, like, if a lesbian woman sucked you off for a stunt, does that still make it non-sexual?
Man, that's a difficult... I'm trying to wrap my head around that one, Gary.
Too many parts of that equation.
Too many things, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? In other words, she's not really into dudes. It's a stunt. She's just doing it for a joke.
Is it for her or is it sexual?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think it's a stunt then, still. Yeah, but I don't... You got to find a goofy lesbian with a radio show job that would be into
But if
that.
it's sexual for you, right? Say the lesbian, I'm in a whole other weird place, but if it's sexual for you, then it's still a sex act. Like, what if JD got off?
No.
Well, then it'd be sexual
You
for
could
him.
get JD off, though.
It'd be sexual for him.
Let's move on, please.
I would be dodging his load.
What were you supposed to? You were supposed to suck Ronnie's dick, right?
Yeah.
What was that for again?
For $1 million. Which that offer still
You're
stands.
like Tara Reid in The Big Lebowski.
Would you fuck Ronnie for the $1 million?
That's not sexual at all, Gary. That's just for the
For the
humor
goof.
of it.
For the goof.
Well, that's for the goof and for the amazing amount of money.
Unfortunately, I now know the noise Ronnie makes when he finishes.
This is a Howard TV original production.
Do you view yourself as a star?
Yeah,
You do.
yeah. These are my donuts.
So you keep your donuts in bed for a snack. All right, give me a pointer. I feel like blowing my mind up. It's a quote that's sure to echo on in radio eternity, and it's just one of many in an ever-growing list of legendary lines from one Wendy Pack. From her early appearances.
Wow, there she is. Come on in, baby.
To her classic calls with Howard.
While you were walking and trick-or-treating, you made a duty in your Freddy Krueger costume.
Yes,
Right, and there were fecal matter in there.
yes.
Right.
To her passionate presence during monumental show moments. The Whack Packer, fondly known as Wendy the Retard, has solidified herself among the all-time greats in Howard Stern show history. But catchphrases and periodic phone calls can only reveal so much about a person. So we took a trip to her home on Florida's central Atlantic coast to catch a glimpse of Wendy's life from the other side of the telephone. Here we are, 80 miles from the Orlando International Airport and all of the fun of Disney. And despite the 100-plus degree heat here in this small town, I'm overly excited because we're here to meet Wendy. We're here to find out what Wendy's days are like, what makes her tick, who are the people in her life. And frankly, I've been excited about this for a long time because Wendy's been such a fixture on the show for so long that I really want to see how she lives. And in fact, I'm hearing loud noises coming from inside of this double wide. So let's go see what's up. You must be Wendy.
Yes.
I'm John Lieberman.
Hi.
Nice to meet
Nice
you. How
to
you
meet doing? Fine.
I've heard so much about you.
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yes.
In addition to her warm personality, I was welcomed by Wendy's brood of cats, which includes Tigger, Mario, Luigi, Blacko, Nice Bob, and Mean Bob, all resting comfortably in the new home that she shares with her mother Joyce and nephew Jesse Jr., for whom she often babysits. Following a visit to the litter box that she's responsible for cleaning and a bowling trophy that she recently earned, I soon discovered that one of her favorite hobbies had helped Wendy garner some local press. So what do we have here?
Us in the newspaper of our group.
So your group is the Fun Time Bowlers. Yep. Where are you?
I am right there.
And why did they take your picture? Did you have a special...
A special day because one of our coaches was leaving.
Oh, okay, so you're getting a new coach, too. Wow, so you've had a lot of changes. You have a new house. You're getting a new coach for bowling. Sit down for a minute. I want to talk to everybody.
While taking a load off at their kitchen table, I was introduced to Wendy's younger sister, Becky, and sister-in-law, Megan. And after getting acquainted with her family, I was curious to know more about her absolute #1 favorite pastime, one that she ranks ahead of both cats and bowling.
What are your favorite parts of the show?
Where Richard and Sal does funny jokes or whatever.
You like those, the prank phone calls? And which parts don't you like as much?
I don't like, what's his name?
JD?
No, the guy in the limousine.
Oh.
Ronnie.
You don't like Ronnie. Why don't you like Ronnie?
Because he gives Howard, bull crap problems.
Wendy's personality was most certainly built for the spotlight, which first shone upon her well more than a decade ago in her first phone call to the Howard Stern Show. A fateful moment her mother Joyce recalls with great fondness.
I would come home from work, and I'd say, what you been doing today? Oh, I talked to Howard today. I said, Howard Stern. I said, Howard Stern. She says, yeah. I said, the guy on the radio with the long hair. Yeah.
While at first she was skeptical that Wendy had mistaken a generic DJ from a local affiliate for Howard himself, Joyce soon listened to tape-recorded proof of her daughter's breakthrough moment in February of 2002.
What are you wearing right now?
Dirty Jim. You know what?
Are you naked?
Yes.
Are you touching your chest?
Yes.
Is your tampon in?
Yes.
Are you wearing big, thick glasses?
No.
Can you barely fit into your nightgown at 182 pounds?
Yes.
And despite Wendy's on-air debut being rife with sexually charged conversation, she was nothing short of elated for her daughter.
I was happy because I said, if you're happy, I'm happy, and she might not know half the stuff she was talking about, but I guess he gave her an education. And Robin, too.
They taught you some things?
They helped her out.
This fateful introduction not only supplied Wendy with entertainment, but also gave her mornings an entirely new purpose. As Howard and Robin soon discovered, Wendy's life is an open book filled with chapters upon chapters of challenges, of which she's
And Howard has always, from the beginning, I think, always treated her special and been good to her. So I really am glad for that.
And I look out for him. When I hear somebody start a rumor of him, that's when I go off in.
Because you want to defend him. Mm-hmm. When Howard goes off the radio at some point down the road, whether it's in 3 years or 10 years, what do you think that would mean to you?
That I want to take over for him.
You want Howard's job. What would you call your show?
The Remembering of Howard Stern.
With the Howard Stern Show playing such a vital role in her daily routine, I wanted to visit the spot where Wendy listens each morning, her bedroom.
This is my bed. This is where I sleep.
A lot of stuffed animals over there.
Yes.
You have names for all of them?
Yes. This is Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Fluffy 1. This is Rabbit.
Fluffy 1, Rabbit.
This is Benji.
Benji. No relation to Benji Bronk, right?
No.
Okay.
And this is my teddy bear. And these are my donuts.
So you keep your donuts in bed for a snack?
Yes.
Now, pastries in bed sounded a lot more like the Wendy I'd grown accustomed to hearing on Howard's airwaves. But after seeing piles of clothes on the floor nearby, I was informed that Wendy's wardrobe is at a crossroad of sorts.
I used to have a bunch of clothes, but not anymore. Because I keep getting big because I eat a lot.
So you've gained some weight?
Yeah.
How much would you say you've gained?
I weigh like now 278.
Is that the highest you've ever been? And are you trying to exercise more?
Yes. I've been doing Richard Simmons and other things. And walking a lot.
Okay. Is it working?
A little, not much.
Impressed by her all-around maturity, I was beginning to see an entirely new side of Wendy. As our conversation continued, I recalled her telling Howard about her dumpster diving exploits, and I wondered if this is still part of her regular routine.
You still doing that?
Yeah, sometimes here and there when we don't have, the money to buy food, or when if it's not our day at the church, that's what we normally do because we have to, live on something. Because, like I told you, our money's tight here and there. I help her pay, almost half of the electricity bill and my cell phone and stuff. And I have to help her get groceries and stuff too. I have a food card right now, but I don't know if I'm going to still have it or not.
Once again, Wendy was showing herself to be far different from her hilarious radio rants. And while her family has been struggling financially, to Wendy, their monetary woes pale in comparison to the passing of her beloved father, whose ashes we paid a visit to.
He was a good dad to me. I really miss him a lot.
What was his name?
Wild Bill.
So Wild Bill was your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And how did he die?
When I went to go check on him, they said it was a heart attack or something. When I went to go check on him, he was just laying there staring at the ceiling, and that's when I called him, and that's when I noticed he wasn't breathing or moving.
This startling discovery, which occurred nearly 7 years ago, just as Wendy was bringing her dad his lunch, is one of the saddest stories I've heard throughout my career. Knowing that her father was an immensely positive influence on her life, I decided to steer our conversation back in that direction.
Tell me your favorite story about your dad.
Where he used to take us camping and stuff in the back of the woods. And that's how, we had marshmallows and fires and stuff back there.
Your sister told me he would have wanted to be a part of this.
Yeah.
He liked your role with Howard Stern. He was proud of you.
Yeah.
With a loving family behind her, it was clear to me why, despite a list of obstacles stacking higher than her laundry pile, Wendy's personality remains anchored in heartfelt determination. And as the tour continued out back toward their private lake, Wendy, like a modern-day Ponce de Leon, helped lead us through what seemed like an endless, overgrown Florida terrain. But before long, the trees parted, revealing a rural oasis that provides Wendy and her family with some sweet relief from the sweltering summer heat.
This is a beautiful lake. Do we know the name of it?
Yeah.
Our lake?
It's our lake. We own it. I mean, it's on our property.
So it's your lake?
Yeah.
So you can name it right now. What do you want to name it?
Howard Lake.
So this is Howard Lake now from here on out?
Yes.
He had no idea of it. How much is this lake going to cost him?
Probably $1 million.
Okay. We'll tell him. This is very nice, though.
As I stood among the tree-lined tranquility of Howard Lake, I noticed an interesting contraption hanging from the trees, a hunting station of sorts used by Wendy and her siblings to skin hogs and deer before turning them into a tasty homemade supper.
we do mostly eat Bambi burgers, and we don't find any other thing.
Deer?
Yeah.
You call them Bambi burgers?
Yes.
Is that just what your family calls them, or do people call
No, that's what we call them.
Oh, okay.
After getting to know Wendy at home, I wanted to accompany her to a place she visits every Saturday, Ormond Lanes in nearby Ormond Beach. Upon arrival, we quickly got our competitive juices flowing over heated games of air hockey.
You're pretty good at this. Oh, ho, ho!
And Pop-A-Shot.
Oh, there you go. Come on. The time's going, and the balls aren't coming. Oh, come on.
Soon after, Wendy led me to our lane, where we began readying ourselves for some good, old-fashioned family-style bowling.
Oh, these fit nice. These are snug. Come help me pick a ball. Help me.
That should work.
You sure? It feels a little tight on my fingers. I'm afraid the ball's not going to come out.
That one should work. If you're...
Yeah, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this one.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Wendy still needed to shake off some rust, especially since we weren't using her self-proclaimed lucky lane. That would be lucky lane number 36. Before long, it was my turn to shine.
See what I'm going to do here. These are no duck pin balls, I'll tell you that.
It has been years since I tested my sports skills against the oil-slicked lanes. And while I enjoyed some early success, as the frames mounted, so did Wendy's confidence, leading me to ask my outspoken opponent for some guidance.
All right, give me a pointer. You're just going to point? That's your pointer?
It's your turn.
You have any advice?
Good luck.
I don't think you mean that.
Yeah?
I don't think you do.
Right from the first frame, it was evident that despite her playful personality, Wendy is a fierce competitor. And as one of my shots left me in quite the pin placement predicament, I once again looked to my newfound rival for help.
How do I hit this shot?
Aim for the middle. Stand right in the middle and aim for the middle.
Stand in the middle and aim for the middle?
Aim for the middle. Although it seems like simple advice, I couldn't help but think of it as a rallying cry for Wendy's strong-willed, resolute approach to life. A short while later, I sat down with Joyce to find out more about bowling's positive influence on her daughter.
How have you noticed that bowling has changed Wendy's life?
She gets to go out, be with her friends, people just like her. She's got, other people to be around.
While bowling serves as a spectacular social outlet for Wendy, it's also been a perfect way to quench her thirst for competition, as she regularly bowls in the Special Olympics, where she expects nothing less than a gold medal-worthy effort from herself.
Because you believe you're the best.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to prove that you're the best to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because it served you well so far in your life, right?
Yeah.
Is that part of your determination to not let anything slow you down?
I had to tell myself the next day, keep moving, get up. That's why I asked her if I could go out almost. She won't want me out every day, but, when she leaves, I said, I'm going because I gotta move around.
In borrowing a line from her fellow Florida native Tom Petty, Wendy firmly believes that if you don't run, you rust, refusing to let her disability slow her down or detract her from her goals. As the game wore on, Wendy mounted a comeback.
Good shot. Whoa!
Even deploying one of her superstitious tactics on me.
Ow!
And as we sat down between frames to examine her fanny pack, I learned that luck is something that Wendy routinely chases.
I play the Mega Million, Fantasy 5, Mega Money, Powerball, Lotto, even scratch-offs.
I mean, you have dozens of lottery tickets in there.
They're no good. I'm still trying to hit the jackpot.
So none of those were winners. But the Monopoly from McDonald's.
Is just started. I'm already ahead to try and win 20,000. All I just need is one more.
So if you get that one more, you win 20,000.
Yep.
And if you win 20,000, what will you do with it?
I would move up to New York and live with view next to Howard.
I'm not sure if Howard is ready for a new neighbor, but for the time being, Wendy says she'll continue to play, as she puts it, the lucky numbers in her head. But as far as pins were concerned, my once sizable lead had started to dwindle.
Good luck, John. You're up.
I don't believe you. I really don't believe that you mean good luck, especially with how tight this game is. How tight my legs are.
Despite her sweet disposition, I didn't believe Wendy's well wishes for a second.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know.
But thankfully, I was able to hang on to my lead and secure a 10-pin victory.
All right, good game. You're a very good bowler. Very good. That was tough. That got me sweating to the end.
Yeah.
Whew.
After changing out of our bowling shoes,
you're in.
I began driving Miss Pack along the route she typically travels by bus each morning after her mom drops her off at a local McDonald's for breakfast. We first stopped by the dumpsters in back of a nearby supermarket where Wendy bravely battles garbage in search of barely touched food to bring to her family. Further on up the road, we encountered the mighty Granada Bridge, a structure that spans the Halifax River and Intracoastal Waterway and connects the mainland to a beach peninsula that Wendy loves to walk along.
Looks kind of big and long.
I know.
So you walk across it?
Yeah.
For exercise or fun or what?
Exercise.
Oh, okay. Wow, you walk across this thing a couple times and
yeah,
you'll lose that 100 pounds in a hurry.
Yeah.
While staring up at the nearly half-mile marathon in front of us, I posed a philosophical question to my walking partner.
How do you think your life would be different if Howard Stern had never come into it?
Not good. I mean, like my mom told you earlier, I didn't have a good lifestyle till now.
As we paused a moment to do some people watching and soak in the breathtaking views, I realized this bridge means more to Wendy than simply a way to exercise.
When you look out onto the water and this beautiful, picturesque view, what goes through your mind?
I normally feed the fish and the dolphins and watch other people do fun things, wishing I was a kid again, so I can do the things I miss.
What do you miss?
I miss playing on the playground. I miss swinging, because I don't know if I can swing or not, because I don't want to break the swing. I miss all the fun things, like, see, there's somebody fishing with their family, or, I don't know, parents. I miss that. You know, I miss fishing with my dad, because my dad's not here anymore. That's why I come over here.
Although it was clear Wendy longs for yesteryear, the list of concerns that adulthood brings certainly doesn't include her disability.
I got other things on my mind right now. And also I got other things on my mind about Howard that I'm concerned about, of people, you know, bother him again.
What are you concerned about?
I'm concerning about the STC or whoever, you know, or some other stupid people you want to get Howard, you know, off the radio, or you know, threaten him.
So you're worried about people threatening Howard?
Yeah. I don't take a bunch of bullcrap like other people do. He's sort of like a dad to me. A stepdad, since I don't have a dad.
Her level of admiration for and staunch defense of Howard astonished me. But as far as her always increasing list of wants, I wondered what tops Wendy's wish list.
If there was one thing in this world right now that you could have, what would it be?
Having my grandma back again, so I can play Uno with her. And so I can have Howard keep our score when we play Uno.
I could almost picture it. Wendy, her grandmother, and Howard as the scorekeeper. But we didn't have any more time for daydreaming, as there was still a lot of bridge to climb.
The breeze is nice.
Yes, it is.
After a grueling trek over the Granada Bridge, we soon found ourselves at Wendy's favorite beach, a place where her money woes, annoyances, and stresses of everyday life get whisked out to sea, disappearing into a seemingly endless horizon.
Hello.
Before long, Wendy's attention drifted away to some eye candy that she found even sweeter than the supersized Mountain Dew she'd been sipping.
Wendy.
Once she regrouped, we redirected our gaze toward the natural beauty of the waves, and they, in turn, set their sights on us.
Little water will never hurt you. Feels good, right? After a long, hot day. When the Howard Stern Show ends one day, how do you want to be remembered as part of it?
By, when I help Howard out as much as I can, like he helps me.
As we parted ways, I immediately shores. Through it all, I witnessed everything that I thought I knew about Wendy get flipped on its head. In our time together, I discovered someone sweet, not selfish, good-natured rather than greedy, and a woman who's more strong-minded than she is silly. And wherever Wendy's journey takes her to next, I'm certain of one thing: her heart will surely lead the way. I'm John Lieberman.
Best of the Wrap-Up Show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The Best of the Wrap-Up Show begins now.
On Monday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about Robin and what she revealed today and that conversation that she and Howard had. It was amazing. It was powerful. You really got an inside look at their conversation and why Robin has been away from the show physically, but we get to hear her every day. So, of course, we had our opinions, and here's how that special conversation went.
Two major developments today. One, of course, was the return of George Takei. And the show just takes on an entirely new element whenever George is in the studio. He's so honest, he's so forthcoming and charming, and so explicit in his storytelling that Howard just said hi to George this morning, and then he ends up talking for an hour because George always has something to say and a lot to say about it. But that was followed by Robin, who decided today that she was going to talk about why she's been out. And I think that a lot of people are asking, why'd she take so long? Why couldn't we know this? The show's all about honesty, etc. And I think this is one of those situations where, as you heard Robin and Howard tell the story, you really needed to respect where they were coming from and why they chose to keep this private. There were a couple of things going on there. One, I think if Robin told people what was going on during all of this, there would have been a ton of, and again, your heart's in the right place. How you doing? Are you okay? And the show ended up being very therapeutic for Robin because it was the time where she wasn't dealing with her illness and she wasn't fighting cancer and going to all these treatments. And you really have to take your hat off to her in terms of showing up to work every day, granted via the ISDN line, but still being on air, pushing through when other people, not just Benji, but I mean other people, they come in late, they have their reasons, whatever else. But you could also see what a literal lifeline this show is for Robin and frankly for Howard. I mean, Howard was wrecked when this first came out and didn't feel comfortable doing the show without her. And, thankfully she was able to be on. And yes, we miss her being here physically, but she's on the air. It's reached the point now where I don't think anybody even thinks twice about Robin being here because it seems like she's here all along. We miss her for the off the air stuff. But some of us have been communicating with her for a long time, and the range of contact varies from Howard, obviously, who's been talking to Robin day in, day out and helping her through this, which now she's been out for well over a year, to other folks who, I've been emailing her a lot. Gary, I know, has been talking to her quite a bit, but not one of us, with the exception of Howard, really knew all the details of what was going on and what she's been fighting. And thankfully, she got that diagnosis. She's still working and fighting through, but it looks like she's cancer-free and hopefully going to be back here sometime soon. But Gary, I know you said a lot of it came as news to you. You knew, you were aware, but you didn't know all the details that were coming through.
I knew about the first operation. In fact, I was getting phone calls the whole day while she was in the operation, and it was a really weird day because I got some misinformation. And so I was out at a charity event, my phone rang, and it was almost like, this is not good. Not that anything was gonna happen to her that day, but that it didn't look very good at all.
She spoke a couple times about getting a prognosis or the possibility of a prognosis like that. Like if this spread all throughout her body, she was done.
But this was that first day operation that we all knew, here on the show, knew she was going in. I got the report it was not going well.
Yeah, that she told was an 8-hour operation.
12.
And the reason was because that grapefruit-sized tumor inside her was so big they had to move her around to get it out of her. But can you imagine waking up after that? Nobody's there. You went in not knowing what, the prognosis was going to be. You have those marks you can't see on your stomach. I mean, I can only imagine what that, and granted, you're probably not all there because you're drugged. But
which could be worse.
Yeah, but oh my God, to not have anybody there, that's just crazy. And I do remember when we went to visit her, how happy she was to see her. Thankfully, we didn't get the Benji treatment. She was happy to see us.
Didn't she look great when we went to see her?
She looked fantastic. I couldn't believe what she just went through. But the other thing was, when we were talking to her, you looked over to the window, and sure enough, you saw that picture of Howard. And that's really what got Jason. Don't go. That's really what got her through a lot of this.
But as I said to Howard today, I guess everybody on the staff knew different, varying degrees of stuff. And my assumption was after that initial operation that it was still touch and go, but that she was going to be all right, but it was going to be a very long recovery. I did not know that they told her, like, hey, we're just going to try to make the rest of your life as good as we can. And in a way, I'm sort of glad I didn't know it now, because it would have been really fucked up. It would have, it would have been terrible.
Well, if a doctor is telling you, okay, here's how we're going to prolong your life, you're immediately like, what do you mean prolong my life? And the fact that she was saying, I thought she was so candid about this today when she said, I didn't know if I wanted to live my life that way.
I get it, but I think nobody wants to live their life that way, but I would like to think that it's better than not living at all.
Well, yes and no. I mean, to her, with her personality and the way she sort of lives life, it didn't sound like she was willing to go there. Jace, what do you want to say?
I actually just came down to tell Gary that the meatballs are here, and if we should wait, keep them out in the lobby, or wait.
No, just put them out.
Oh, okay. But in terms of Robin, it was great hearing her today. Will and I had lunch with her a few months after her surgery, and just like everybody else is saying, couldn't believe how much energy she had, how good she looked, how on top of it she was. Both my parents have had cancer, and I know what it's like after a round of chemo or something like that, and you don't want to move, you don't want to talk, you don't want to do anything. So it's crazy how well she responded to all that.
Yeah, her first round of chemo, she was commenting how even people, you had chemo, like she didn't lose her hair, she didn't lose her energy, she kept going. The second round, that's where she lost her hair. It really, kind of hit her a little bit harder. But yeah, she's what we've been. I mean, I've been emailing TV stuff with her. I thought I watched a lot of TV.
Right.
Obviously, she's in a position to watch a lot more than me, but her spirits are just so great. And Howard always makes the comment how if nobody else was here, he could do the show, just him in front of the microphone. I believe that, but I honestly think now if Robin wasn't here, I don't know if he would want to go on with the show. It would just be not only would be different, but. Today you got a great window into how close their relationship really is.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get too into it, but when we thought that at first we thought that Robin might be out for a really extended period of time, and we were trying to figure out how to handle that situation. And I would just say the best word I could use is it was very unsettling for Howard. It's just, not only because of what does the show, because you do something the same way every day and there's a chemistry, but because of what I could imagine he was thinking. I would think it would be very difficult for him to do the show and not be thinking about what's going on with her, and that would really be hard to pull off.
Were your feelings hurt when she said that she didn't think you could handle what was going on, and that's why she didn't tell you everything?
No. You want to know when my feelings were hurt? When Howard imitates me, makes fun of me, for saying I didn't know anything, does his bucktooth thing where he sticks out his mouth like this, and so Gary came to me and said, I didn't know anything. I'm like, what are you picking on me for? I didn't know. Like, why am I the asshole?
I think Gary might have been a little too sensitive for Robin. Just judging off his sensitivity right now.
Based on that?
Yeah, based on maybe she was
because as you listen to the conversation, Howard's making jokes. Howard's trying to make it light because it's a really heavy thing you're talking about.
All right, Benji's
here.
To your left. Go get him.
Oh, Benji got hit. I mean, Robin actually said, she didn't want Benji to visit. And I don't know how much she was kidding when she said that.
I don't think she was kidding at all. And I felt bad for Benji.
So did I.
I mean, you're going to make an effort to visit somebody. Don't mock them.
Gary, initially, a lot of people, when Robin wasn't here, were complaining and saying, well, why doesn't she come in? And kind of, or thinking that couldn't understand why this was being kept private. And as a fan, I get it. I want to know what's going on because that's what this show does. That's what it's always been. But you also have to figure if we're keeping something private, there's probably a good reason for it.
John, you just teed up. You've seen me in the back office, how long I've been waiting for this day to talk about this. I found it very upsetting when people called up with all these conspiracy theories. Where's Robin? Why aren't you telling us? This is bullshit. And I understand the show's a very honest show, but as you heard today, I thought it was very obvious. Robin was sick. Then we went away. And then when we came back, Robin missed a day. And then we were on the air again, and Robin wasn't telling her story. And, it came up even on the wrap-up show a couple of times. I just felt like I think most of the people in the audience understood that they would trust us enough. I would always say it's Robin's story to tell. And if it was something we weren't talking about, then I thought it would be really obvious that it was something super important. And Jason and I were talking about this because he said it came up on one of his shows. Like, what's the conspiracy? Like, what did you think we were covering that Robin was doing? What did you think she was up to that we were covering for her?
Well,
wasn't it obvious she was sick?
Well, everyone always has conspiracy theories about this show. That's part of what makes it tick. But Howard and Robin clearly had a conversation about it, and if they were going to talk about it on the air, and they decided not to because they felt the focus would be on her illness versus doing a good show. And I said this before you guys came in. I think that Robin found it very therapeutic to go to work and have a good time and break balls and do whatever else because it was an escape from what she was dealing with, which was a life-threatening disease.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think I'm speaking out of school. Robin and I hung out about a month and a half ago. We had a weekend together with a bunch of people, and we were talking about Robin Roberts. And Robin Quivers said to me, gee, I don't think I could do that. That's, I don't think I could do that at all. And I said, for her, maybe bringing the audience into it worked for her. For Robin, I think she just felt like, because it also defines you. You know what I mean? It defines you in a lot of ways. And, it can be difficult. So I think it's a very, very personal decision.
Well, we all tried to give our support and talk to Robin and reach out to her in a lot of different ways. And she reacted differently to different people. But she did say that the sweetest of them all was none other than Ronnie Mund. And Ronnie, you love breaking balls with Robin and vice versa, I know. But you knew what was going on, and I know how close you guys are. I'm not going to say were, but are. And to hear her finally tell this story, do you think she was relieved? Do you think, like, are we happy that now she's at a place where she feels comfortable talking about this?
Yeah, I think so, because, it's a rough thing to have to go through, being sick to begin with, and depending on how sick you are, you really sometimes don't want to talk about it. And you want to forget about it and go about your life as best you can, and that's what she was doing, basically. I mean, she didn't miss a step with sticking me in the back during the shows, with her big knives and stuff, which I always bust her balls about. But, I know Robin for a real long time, and I've seen her go through a lot of shit, not with sickness. Well, with a different kind of sickness, and... I've seen her go through it, and where she was locked in the house and never came out of the house and stuff like that. But I don't want to go into too much detail. But, it was good to see that she could snap back from this, and I'm real happy for her.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have a very interesting organization here. Some of us have been together as much as 30 years. I'm 30 years with the show. Robin's like 33, Fred's like 36, and Ronnie's like 28. We've all been together a long time. We're a family, a dysfunctional family. At times we fuck with each other, but we're a family. And it's more than just working together. You do work together and there's a bond there, but we feel like, I know for me, like when I think of like myself and Howard and Fred and Robin, I felt like, something really amazing has been built here. Howard's built this empire. He's built this legacy in radio and in television. And we were all a part of that. And that, that really is a big bond. And, we see each other socially a lot too. I was joking around, like Robin still sends, Robin started sending gifts, Christmas gifts to my kids when they were really young. And now my son's in second year in college, Jackson, and she still sends a gift. And I talked to her about it once, and she said, you know what? I knew you when you lived at home with your parents. I watched you get married. I watched you have kids. I watched your kids grow up. I watched your kids go off to school. That's what we are. That's what we're doing here. This is our family.
Benji, you, I think, didn't get that kind of love today. And part of it, yes, it's the show, and you're trying to, Howard's making people laugh, and that's the way it goes. But two things. One, first, with Robin being out, and coming to work every day and showing up, going through chemo, all that stuff. Did any of that resonate with you, thinking like, wow, maybe I should be doing it? But you've been...
No, like Gary says, like, we are a family. And I live in the shed out back, but we're a family. But no, I was, and I thought it was so silly when people were making a thing about, ISDN. Who gives a fuck? I mean, if you do give a fuck, you give a fuck. But it's like everyone's job has their own things and everything. And I don't think I took it so much like, oh my God, she can do. I just took it overall as a very inspiring thing that she can be facing mortality right in her face and still, be a creative, artistic person.
Yeah, I will tell you that I've always known that the show's meant a lot to Robin, but I really got to see it firsthand because she didn't miss a couple of days. She missed like 2 days, but she didn't miss. Somebody in the same position would have missed a lot more days. Yeah. And the tenacity that she had to make sure she was there for those days, and I could tell that the show meant everything to her. That it was, everybody finds, sort of strength in a different place. And for her, it was being on the show every day. I think the feeling was, if I can get in front of that microphone every day, I can go another day.
Did it hurt when she said that, thanks for trying to visit, but...
No, I you know what the problem was, like, first of all, I texted when everyone was in that period when we knew she was told she was in the hospital and everything. But she texted back like an ambiguous message, which... She said, like, not this week, but definitely check back next week. And I think that happened more than once. And I knew she really didn't want me to, but the text was ambiguous enough that I had to keep responding.
But it sounds like when you call a girl and you go, you want to go on a date? She says, not this Friday, but maybe next Friday.
Yeah, but eventually it works usually.
The other thing is you want to sort of respect the person's privacy. And also, Robin clearly, with some people she wanted to talk about this, but with others she didn't. And I think... I don't know how you communicated, Gary, but I was very careful to be like, just talk about TV. Hope you're doing great. And if she wanted to talk about that, what she was going through, that's fine. But if not,
you did talk to her.
I think you're a better friend almost if you don't go there because you're respecting their wishes.
I ended up speaking to her a lot. Like I'd call her every probably month and a half, and I would call her and I'd leave her a message, and sometimes she'd call me back in a day, and sometimes she wouldn't call me back for a week or two. But she always seemed to want to talk about where she was. I never had to ask her. I would just be like, "How are you doing, Robin? I'm just checking in with you." And she would generally tell me.
Did you check in with her a lot, Ronnie?
I checked in with her a lot. I saw her a lot in the hospital, and both hospitals she was in.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see her, and you know what? It made me feel good because I made her laugh. Believe it or not, we sat there and we had some really good laughs. We talked about old times. We talked about old shows. We talked about how I got my balls busted. She got her balls busted. How we busted each other's balls. And the funniest day was the day with the picture. She was showing everybody the picture of Howard, which was a scream.
But Ronnie, did you ever have a point where you thought to yourself, we might have to someday do the show without Robin? Did you ever have those thoughts?
In the beginning, yeah.
And they were fucking weird, right?
Yeah, it was real weird. Because I remember the day she walked out of the studio when she was leaving here to go for the first operation. And I just walked over and I gave her a hug, and we both basically almost busted out crying. And I just said, I love you and don't worry about it. You're going to be good. And that was it.
Well, I don't know if you guys talked about this already. Do you think Howard would want to go on without Robin being a part of the show long term?
I think at some point he would make the decision to do it because he's at the end of the day he's always got that driving force, but I think it would be a difficult decision for him, and it would never be the same. It just wouldn't be the same. And it might be at the point where he might do it for a little bit more and go, you know what? I thought I could do it and I can't, and maybe I don't anymore.
I think he'd still be a personality and be part of the media, but I think the show would probably my guess is he might decide to end it then.
Well, there's a big difference between like her recovering and knowing that she's going to be back in X amount of time and her not coming back at all. I mean, that's what the decision
that's what I'm saying. Well, Gary's implying, God forbid, she had passed away. And I think there's a good chance, if she had, Howard might have decided this is the time to end it.
It could be. It's a distinct possibility.
Cheryl in Nevada, welcome to the wrap-up show.
Hi.
Hi, Cheryl.
Excuse me. This is me? Oh, I'm sorry. I was listening so intently there. Well, one question I had, Robin is coming back, so my main question was, is your little mini studio still there?
Yeah, it hasn't moved.
Well, I got a lot of stuff in there. I got to get out.
You know what? There is. It's funny. We did a renovation that we talked about in the air, and there's a lot of stuff in there.
My winter's jackets.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be cleaned out in a day, and we're ready.
It might take a couple of days, but
Victor in Gainesville, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, I just have a question. I'm happy for Robin, and the kind of treatment that she got is incredible. Do you think if it were an average person other than Robin Quivers, do you think that person would have gotten that type of care, given they only have a limited amount of money, or, with the new health care law, do you think that would have changed the type of care that Robin received?
Well, there's a lot of questions there. I'm not sure what the new health care law is, so I'm not even going to get into that. And yeah, Robin probably has more tools because she knows a lot of people, and of course she should use them. But I think what I really got out of today, which I'm seeing a lot of people up on the board are talking about, is even if you don't have a lot of money, you should always get a second opinion. And I'm seeing so many people have been calling all day. Some guy tweeted out, my dad never got a second opinion and he died. I get a second opinion when I'm getting a roof put on my house. I have 3 guys come and look at it. You should always get a second opinion. You should, and that's one of those things you never can trust just one person.
But Gary, I agree with you, but that's easier said than done. If you're in a hospital that's a good hospital and someone's giving you a diagnosis and you feel like they're sort of taking care of you, it's hard sometimes to do that. Thankfully Robin did, and Sloan Kettering is an amazing hospital for this kind of thing, and thankfully it's worked out well. But I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have that kind of money, I can't get that kind of care.
But does it cost money to go to a second doctor and just say, look at this, what do you think?
It depends. It depends on the doctor. It depends on a lot of different things.
And the other thing is, even if you don't, again, just to go once to the doctor, it's your life.
Yeah,
it's your life. So whatever money you have is useless if you're dead.
And even if it's not, even if it's someone who is on your plan or whatever else, if you have a plan, it's another set of eyes. And that's always good, especially when you're dealing with something like this.
Right.
And you want to have a fighting chance, that's for sure. Neil, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys. Great show today.
Hey, Neil.
Very emotional. Yeah. I love that emotion. You know, you don't get a lot from the Stern Show. You know, it was nice. Like those switch. I was just wondering, do you guys find it inspirational at all? Like what Robin's been through? Like, is it harder to take a day off? Like knowing, you know, you got the sniffles, you don't feel too great, but you think what she's been through and it kind of pushes you through the day?
Well, I'll tell you something. Nobody, even before Robin, nobody takes a day off here for the sniffles. So anybody who takes a day off for something, it's usually got to be something pretty important. And in fact, Howard sent me home one day because I was in the bathroom waiting to throw up.